Billy W. Johnson Stadium in Columbia, South Carolina, where tonight the Benedict Tigers, who have opened the season with a pair of shutout wins, are back at home to meet a Tuskegee Golden Tigers group that's off to a 2-1 start. We look in the record books, and you won't find any team that has won more games in the history of HBCU football than Tuskegee. But as of late, Benedict College has been the one lifting trophies and putting, as they say, the BC in HBCU. An early in-conference matchup, and it's going to be an exciting one. So happy to bring it to you here this evening. Kate Crenshaw alongside Tanitra Batiste. And the last time these two teams met was back 3 years ago in the SIAC Championship game, with Benedict emerging victorious. But Tanitra, fast forward to today, both of these head coaches feel like they've got a championship contender on their hands.
Yeah, and they both feel like the championship is going to run through the third phase of the game. I don't know if we've ever seen two coaches who are more excited talking about the chess match on special teams, starting with Coach Aaron James. He told us earlier in the week that special teams has to be better on the road. He feels like that is his strongest group, and that the punter, good. Long snapper, good, but it's really in the kicking game, and that starts with Lorcan Ryan. So Lorcan Ryan, of course, was so critical in them getting the win in week one, the eventual game winner. He kicked that. We know he can boot it 50 yards, and it'll go straight through the uprights.
Yeah, Coach James said the team motto, "In Lorcan we trust," and the conference trusted him to a preseason All-SIAC selection. He'll impact things on the Tuskegee side, but then you flip the script for the home team, and the impact player for Benedict is the guy returning those kicks from Ryan.
Indeed, indeed. And, of course, talking to Coach Ron Dickerson, he said with Benedict, their focus all week has been on special teams. They feel like this is an opportunity for them because they had 5 kicks inside the 5-yard line. Unfortunately, touchbacks. He wants to see that change this week, and he feels like when the ball comes their way, that's the opportunity for change, and that starts with Jackson Williams. He said the kid is just flat out fast, that 18 can just give it a go, and he can't wait for him to have the opportunity to flip the field for Benedict.
Special teams, Tanitra, certainly going to play a role here tonight, though we won't see Jackson Williams here for a little while. Benedict winning the opening coin toss and electing to defer, which sends out their true freshman kicker, Zane Spires, to get things underway. End over end kick that makes its way at the 1-yard line and then stops. What a boot from the freshman. Barely anywhere to go for Jaquel Rouser, and suddenly Tuskegee's first drive, because of strong, stressful teams play from Benedict, is going to start inside their own 5.
Yeah, and this is exactly the conversation that we've been having all week with the coaches, and we've been talking about how important it is because you're looking for the opportunity to flip the field, and Zane Spires has already flipped the field for Benedict tonight. Kind of a bad decision there. I understand oftentimes you see the ball sail over your head, you're thinking touchback, but you got to be mindful of not wanting your quarterback to start, not wanting Raekwon Beal to start in the shadow of his own end zone.
6'5", 225-pound senior quarterback has his heels inside that end zone to get this one underway. 3 receivers, 2 men in the backfield. Attacking the ground first is Johnny Morris, spins out of 1 tackle, and then he stopped at the 10-yard line. A gain of about 7 on first down for the senior tailback.
And that's something Aaron James talked to us about as well. Coach said they need to win the first down more and play more consistent, and he thought Johnny Morris being able to identify the gaps and see the holes and move forward was a way to do it.
Morris, a player who's close to 1,000 career rushing yards during his time at Tuskegee. Right back in his hands, why not? And his second carry will move the sticks up past the 16-yard line. Tuskegee 2-1 on the season. Open up the year in the annual Red Tails Classic, honoring the Tuskegee Airmen. And this year's Tuskegee group taking on a Winston-Salem State team. Come from behind 2017 win. Follow that up with a 1-0 start in league play. Beat Central State 34-zip in week 2 before going on the road last week and losing at Jackson State. Beal out wide finds Rashad Wilson Jr. First pass attempt and completion of the day for the Golden Tigers through the air.
Yeah, and you see this Tigers team, this Golden Tigers team going right to the air to start off this, that moving the chains first and foremost, which is the important thing for them. You're seeing them move the possession through the air.
Wilson's 3rd catch of the season. Has 1 score on the year that was in that season opener against Winston-Salem State out of the CIAA. Beal pitches out to the left side, back on the ground for Morris, breaks one tackle, and now the ball is loose, but luckily for Tuskegee, Jermaine Hardy Jr. was there. Right place, right time. Luck on the side of the Golden Tigers.
Yeah, and there's a flag on that play, and I see someone's injured early in this game, but nice little toss, pitch and catch there. Looks like a face mask there on Morris.
We have an injury.
Just barely able to recover it. We do have an offensive lineman down right now for Tuskegee. Athletic training staff out there to check on him, as is head coach Aaron James.
It looks like that is Ivan Williams.
Yeah, they're starting right tackle.
Starting right tackle. Yeah.
One of the youngsters, true freshman, that anchors the right side of the offensive line for Tuskegee. Got knocked up, but good thing to see walking off under his own power.
Indeed, indeed.
So we mentioned Tuskegee 2-1 on the year. Benedict, an undefeated 2-0 start. And nature, sometimes things just work out in a unique coincidence. Both wins, 10-0 shutouts.
Yeah, I mean, you couldn't ask for something better. The Benedict program not seeing a shutout since early 2023, and now back-to-back shutouts, so priding themselves in getting a couple goose eggs to start off the season.
Beating Fayetteville State in the Labor Day Classic, and then Central State this past Saturday. Both teams trying to turn around on a short week and improved to 2-0 in SIAC play. Following the face masks after that last fumble, Golden Tigers are set up for action at their own 37. Beal looking right side, finds his man. That's E.J. Hall, reeling it in. A talented newcomer to Tuskegee, transfer in from Troy, that the coaching staff's really excited about, but we got a flag down in the backfield.
Yeah, and you hate to see that because that was a nice little play, a quick toss out to E.J. Hall and him being able to get some yards and getting them near the marker there, but that may indeed be called back.
Alex Sigg, our head official, saying that one goes against Benedict.
Which is interesting because now you've got Benedict giving Tuskegee, after pinning them inside the 5, something that they talked about doing. Now you're moving the chains twice due to infractions.
Up to the 39-yard line in Benedict territory. Two receivers right side, one to the left. That's Jermaine Hardy Jr. Back on the ground, Morris bounces outside and has some space. Johnny Morris cuts into the middle. Across the 25, he's brought down after a pickup of 16.
Yeah, you see this Golden Tigers team going with Johnny Morris. He's the hot hand early on. You see there he's able to have the eye upfield, getting some good blocking from his O-line. That was something that Aaron James said he challenged his team on, and you've seen them be able to move the chains again, getting close to the high red zone.
A really deep running back room
Yes.
this year for Tuskegee, and a phrase you used there, Tanisha, is one Aaron James used this week in talking to us. The hot hand is who's going to get the football for him.
Indeed.
1st and 10 up at the 24. Ball put on the ground after a bad snap. Looks like Tuskegee was able to recover at the bottom of that pile.
Yeah, a little miscommunication there. You'll see E.J. Beal, Raekwon Beal rather, waiting for the ball, and maybe just a little slip of the hand there from him. But again, a good bounce for the Golden Tigers to be able to recover.
First time today, Tuskegee has moved backwards on their first drive. A loss of 3 after the dropped fumble. Second and 13. And another penalty flag, the yellow, a popular color early on tonight.
Yeah, it's interesting. You and I were talking about this just before the game and how this is one of those things that if you're not careful, it slows down the momentum. And again, not only did Coach Aaron James talk about winning on first down more, but really winning in that opening drive and really kind of making a statement on that drive. This is not the kind of statement he was talking about.
False start against Tuskegee, and just as soon as they move backwards for the first time, they go backwards, back-to-back plays. Now 2nd and long as the Golden Tigers look to score first tonight. Beal dropping back to pass, looking over the middle, has E.J. Hall, but overthrows him.
Yeah, puts a little too much zip on that ball. E.J. Hall, that's a little bit beyond his fingertips.
Pass intended for number 2, E.J. Hall.
And you see there, nice protection from the O-line, giving Beal an opportunity to set his feet, but just a little too much zip on that ball.
Beal had time, and Hall had beaten his man, which is a matchup I'm excited to see tonight. Number 2 on number 2 on that outside boundary. E.J. Hall, a really, really talented sophomore that's probably going to garner postseason all-conference predictions and selections, working against the DB Cam Williams, a newcomer from Miles, who was all SIAC a season ago.
Indeed, Cam Williams, definitely one of our players to watch throughout the game tonight.
They're matched up on each other on the far side, and before the snap on 3rd and long, trying to avoid that play clock that was running out, Tuskegee head coach Aaron James calls his first timeout of the day.
Yeah, and I think that's a good timeout to call because maybe you settle your guys in as well. We've seen them maybe start a few times quicker than they wanted to maybe, and so this is an opportunity for them to kind of settle down, reset, and maybe continue this drive, especially on a key 3rd down.
And both coaches, Tenitra, told us earlier this week how important this first drive was going to be. And obviously, offensively, both of them want to start fast, but for Benedict especially, defensively, that's the group that set the tone for them early on this year.
Yeah, it's interesting when you hear Coach Dickerson talk about the defense and talking about the fact that, hey, that's one of the reasons the offense has been able to get better because of that vaunted defense that they have. But even with Tuskegee, this is important because, of course, they come from off a game where they get shut out. So this is an opportunity for them to say, hey, we're resetting our offense. We're wanting to make a statement early in this Benedict game to let them know that our offense is going to reset and our offense is ready to go from what they experienced last week against Jackson State.
3rd and long for Tuskegee out of their first time out of the ball game. 4 receivers set, and Bill's going to drop back to pass. The senior quarterback steps up, looks deep for Hall again, this time finds his man. Touchdown, Tuskegee.
Pay dirt for the Tuskegee Golden Tigers. A nice drive there with them starting off with the run game, getting them out of the shadow of their end zone, giving them an opportunity for play action, and it delivers. And you see there once again the O-line giving just enough protection. Beal dropping back. He sees his man. This time puts the right zip on it. E.J. Hall wins the 2-on-2 battle, round 1.
Coach Aaron James said, those two, it just seems like they have a special connection with one another that you can't really coach. Lorcan Ryan steps up, punts it through, and it's 7-0 Tuskegee. The Golden Tigers put points on the board on tonight's opening drive.
Yeah, and you like the fact that you see he had actually Beal at a couple of receivers open there, but ultimately speaking, the guy that could punch it in for him is his guy, E.J. Hall.
Tuskegee, the early lead. Benedict going to try to respond when we come back. South Carolina, the Benedict band playing, and they're hoping they're going to see the Tigers offense head out to the field for the first time and get a responding score after Raekwon Beal threw his 5th touchdown of the season for Tuskegee.
Yeah, a very nice opening drive for the Tuskegee Golden Tigers. Really like the mix where they started on the ground. Johnny Morris eating up some yards, and even though they were set back a couple times with some penalties, able to recover for a Beal to Hall touchdown, first score of the game.
Lorcan Ryan steps up, boots it in the direction of Jackson Williams, the preseason HBCU All-American, takes it from inside the 10, swings out wide right across the 25. He stopped at the 30. And it's Ryans who stepped up and assisted on the stop.
Yeah, Ryan's probably saving a touchdown there, being able to get that tackle. And let's see, Benedict has some good field position to start their opening drive. Let's see if they're able to take advantage of it.
Benedict going to start out their first drive of the night from their own 31. And senior quarterback Darius Ocean gets the start tonight. First of the season for him. Been a quarterback battle that's not over, according to head coach Ron Dickerson Jr., between Ocean and returning redshirt freshman Jackson Jensen. Tonight, Ocean gets the start, and Dickerson said we may still see both tonight. Don't rule that one out.
Indeed. I think it's just more of Darius Ocean having an opportunity in last week's game, showing the poise that they needed. And also Jackson Jensen coming back from that knee injury, still not quite 100%, and coach just wants to give him an opportunity to get a little bit better, get healthier, and get ready to start and contribute.
5-yard pickup on the right side for Jackson Williams brings up second down from the 36. Ocean facing pressure, trying to escape, but he is not able to get away from that feisty Tuskegee D-line.
And definitely one of those plays where you look at Ocean looking down the field quickly, sees that most of his receivers are covered, so he takes off. But again, those gaps, those holes closed really, really quickly by that D-line, the defensive front for Tuskegee.
Messiah Wells' third sack of the season for the preseason all-conference member. He is a feisty one to watch off the left side of the line. 4 receiver set for Ocean. They're going to put it on the ground in the hands. No, Ocean keeps it left side, tries to spin out of a tackle, but he's wrapped up and brought down by Timothy Grayson just past the chains. Knew what he needed to get and did just that to move him. Fresh set of downs for Benedict.
Yeah, that's one of the things that Coach Ron Dickerson talked about as well. Just having that veteran experience, that presence to know, hey, I see where the chains are, I see where the marker is. I'm going to get past it with my legs if I can't get past it in the air.
Play action sets up Benedict 1st and 10 from their own 42. Tuskegee up early, 7-0 on this Thursday night. Ocean looking to pass left side. He finds his man, Malachi Jones, the sophomore out of Gainesville, Florida, reels it in.
And Malachi Jones, actually, of course, the Tampa connection with Jackson Jensen, one of the reasons that he is here, but certainly you can see that he's building and developing a little bit of chemistry with Darius Ocean as well.
Jones second on the team last season with over 300 receiving yards. 2nd and 5, approaching midfield. Blitz coming for Ocean. Airs it down left side. Finds his man. That's Jones in stride. Jones inside the 5.
What a great pickup of the blitz by Darius Ocean. Able to get that ball out of his hand, and now we're talking about them being in the low red zone. You see right there, good protection from his O-line. Feels the blitz coming, but is able to release quickly, and now it's 1st and goal for the Tigers.
Benedict 3 for 3 on scores in the red zone this season. It's their first trip there tonight as they try to even things up in this early season benchmark game for both of these two teams who are certainly in the SIAC championship hunt.
And an interesting, different approach. Tuskegee talked about the fact that they want a time of possession to be their thing. Benedict quick strikes so far.
Tristan Morgan, the tailback, gets his first carry, brought down after a yard down to the 2. Benedict in front of a lively home crowd on this Thursday night, trying to capitalize on the big pass play and punch it in. 2nd and goal from the 2. Ocean looking right side. Hillman makes the catch. Touchdown Tigers.
And a beautiful toss from Darius Ocean, putting that ball right there at the back of the end zone where only his receiver can catch it. Benedict on the board quickly. You see there once again, just a great opportunity for Darius Ocean to show, hey, I can do it in the air, I can do it on the ground. Nice drive by the Tigers. And you'll see there again, just a quick little toss to the back of the end zone right there over the shoulder. Touchdown.
Zane Spires, true freshman, on for the extra point. And the Gainesville, Florida native moves to a perfect 3-3 mark on PATs this year. Knotted up at 7 apiece. A 2-yard touchdown pass from number 2, Darius Ocean, to last year's leading receiver for Benedict, Troy Hillman. Knots this conference matchup 7-0 midway through the first quarter.
In communities where leaders are forged and
for Benedict, knots this one up at 7 apiece midway through the first quarter as quarterback Darius Ocean found Troy Hillman back right corner of the end zone to even things up at 7-0. Low-lying kick that's reeled in around the 30-yard line, nearly got away, but Tuskegee's special teams unit was able to collect it in. and they'll start out right around the 34-yard line.
Yeah, good field position this go-round for Tuskegee after starting in the shadow of their own end zone on that first possession. So great opportunity for them to be able to put some more points potentially on the board.
Tuskegee's offense really had good rhythm the first time we saw them earlier on tonight. 9 plays, 96-yard drive, only moved backward twice because of penalties, just really found a nice opening rhythm.
Yeah, and a nice mix of starting off with the run game, and once that got that team going, they were able to use play action to get in the end zone through the air.
First play of their second drive on the ground and still moving forward with that Tuskegee rushing attack up to the 41-yard line. A big push from the O-line trying to help Johnny Morris get ahead.
Yeah, I tell you, you look at that O-line for Tuskegee, and they were making sure that he was good. It was almost like the version of a midfield tush push on that last play.
Clock approaching the 6-minute mark here in the opening quarter. Tuskegee looking at second and short from the 41. Bill in shotgun, puts it back in Morris's hands. Tries spinning out of one tackle, but that ferocious Benedict defense will wrap him up, and this time the O-line can't push him anywhere. Pickup of just 2.
Number 6, Johnny Morris on the carry. Once again, Tuskegee Tigers.
Yeah, and you'll see this time Benedict's defensive front ready for that play and making sure that Tuskegee's going to get pushed back or at a minimum have a nominal gain on the play.
That opening touchdown from Tuskegee, the first points Benedict has surrendered all season, albeit we're 3 games in, but still noteworthy. Morris gets it, bounces outside, and has some space across midfield, upended near the Benedict 40.
Yeah, and as much as we heard about the running back by committee that we were going to see for Tuskegee, Johnny Morris obviously with the hot hand, able to get a nice block there, then bounce to the outside, catch the sideline, and get them the chains to move once again.
This time Tuskegee going to spread it out. Now bring on a fresh face in at tailback. After Johnny Morris lost his helmet on that tackle, Shaquille Rouser steps in, the sophomore out of Hueytown, Alabama. Right to Rouser's hand, but he is wrapped up with nowhere to go, quickly making the stop. It's the linebacker, Omari Terry.
Yeah, nice play by the linebacker, number 26. Sniffed that out early.
A redshirt senior, native of Atlanta, Georgia, makes his 9th stop of the year.
For the Benedict Tigers.
2nd and 11 for Tuskegee. Raekwon Beal, their senior quarterback, is the leader of this offense, trying to build on a really productive junior campaign. Last season, 14 passing touchdowns. That's the most by a Tuskegee quarterback since 2013. Dropping back to pass, looking for his second of the night. Looking towards the end zone for E.J. Hall. Just out of his reach.
Yeah, a little too much air under that ball by Beal that time, but we know this is something that we're going to see throughout the night, the Beal to Hall connection, and he gets the protection that he needs. He sees his guy sprinting down the field, and hey, air it out, see what you get. Just a little too far out of the reach of Hall.
The first time those two connected tonight resulted in the 32-yard score. Third down for the Tigers. Play clock at 3, now 2, 1. Bill gets the snap just in time. Steps up in the pocket, dump off to the right side. It's up and over the head of Rouser and Tuskegee, because they were rushing to try to beat the play clock, waste an opportunity on third down, and the punt unit steps out.
Yeah, it feels like there was a little bit of miscommunication on the part of the Tuskegee offense. You see Bill trying to hurry, as you mentioned, to get ahead of the clock, but unfortunately maybe just rushed that a hair too quickly, and now this ball is going back to Benedict.
The first time we'll see Callum Brent, the 6'3" freshman out of Melbourne, Australia, step out for Tuskegee, averaging 42 yards a punt this season.
Number 7, Jamal Sam.
Jamal Sam back to receive for Benedict. Lets it take a hop around the 10, rolls, and Tuskegee special teams unit swarms it up at the 4.
And this time Tuskegee on the good side of a ball bouncing inside the 5.
First time tonight that Benedict can drive down the field and take a lead. Darius Ocean leads the Tigers on the field when we come back. Will start out deep in their own territory. A solid punt from Tuskegee's Callum Brent has pinned the Tigers back at their own 4. Darius Ocean in the gun, takes the snap and puts it on the ground, at least giving him a little bit of cushion room. Benedict gets up across the 5 after the carry from McKeon Durant.
Yeah, and that's one of those plays where you're just trying to avoid being caught in the end zone for a safety. You just want to give yourself an opportunity to maybe breathe, and maybe you can be a little bit more creative on second down.
We didn't see Durant on that first drive. All the touches went to the junior Tristan Morgan, transfer from Fort Valley State out of the backfield. 4 receivers set for Ocean. We talk about transfers. He's one of them, too. Came over from Johnson C. Smith. Looking left side, in and out of the hands of Trey Simmons, who's made the move to wide receiver this year. Spent his junior season last year because of injuries that the quarterback room sustained, guiding the Benedict offense.
Yeah, being able to be versatile for this offense, very, very key. And on that last play, of course, just that toss a little too high. So we'll see what the call is for Ron Dickerson and Stan Clayton on this 3rd and 7.
Benedict trying to avoid the 3 and out and not have to punt and set up Tuskegee around midfield to start their next drive. Clock approaching 3 minutes left here in the opening quarter. We're tied at 7. Ocean needing 7. But he's looking for more. Right side, in and out of the hands once again of its intended target. That's the freshman Noah Johnson trying to haul it in, and Benedict unable to move the sticks.
And Noah Johnson getting his first action for this Benedict team this season, but that ball, I love the concept of the play, the call, but ultimately just a little bit off the fingertips of Noah Johnson, and that could be more just him having the opportunity to get some rhythm with Ocean.
4th down brings on Colton Ford, the sophomore out of Quinn Creek, Arizona. Been a big piece for this team this year on the special team side of things. Last week's win over Central State had a 53-yard punt. E.J. Hall is going to let this one bounce out of bounds, and that one not nearly getting the distance Benedict would have hoped. We'll wait and see exactly where the referee stops, and it's going to be at the 37-yard line.
A good break for Tuskegee, good opportunity for them to strike. I'll be interested to see what Harry Williams, their offensive coordinator, calls on this first play, because they did a great job of being able to set up opportunities for play action in the possessions before. An opportunity to maybe do a quick toss down the field right now.
Harry Williams now on the staff. This second season, a former teammate of head coach Aaron James when those two played at Tuskegee in the late 90s and early 2000s and led them to an HBCU national championship. On the ground, Johnny Morris breaks through the right side of the line, but that second level of Benedict's defense, led by linebacker Isaiah Stevens, wraps him up.
And Isaiah Stevens, a guy that Ron Dickerson talked about being one of those that is a player to watch, and we're gonna feel his impact from the beginning, and here we see it here, stopping Johnny Morris, who had nice chunk yards on the initial possession or the initial drive of the game.
2nd and 8. Tremendous field positioning for Tuskegee, especially compared to their opening drive that they scored on. Had to go down 96 yards. Beal back on the ground for Morris. He's able to pick up a few more. Takes a big hit right at the 30. I have to make sure that Johnny Morris is okay there.
And Benedict is indicating that they've actually recovered the ball.
Take another look here. See at what point it popped out. I initially thought Morris was down when he lost it. And he lost it once he came in contact with the ground, but quickly diving on it just in case was Justin Livy, the left tackle.
And a good heads-up play because, hey, if the whistle doesn't blow, you never know. We saw what happened in an NFL game when the ball was live. Steelers I can say that I'm Steeler Nation, so.
Third and short, Beal to the right side, finds Morris, and that moves the chains, gets enough what they needed. Up to the 28-yard line. And Sinitra, excuse me, they're going to be about a yard short.
Number 31, Jalen Rogers.
Had initially thought that Morris was able to sneak up around the 37,
Yeah,
but
it did look that way.
just pushed out right at the 38. But Aaron James going to be aggressive. He's going for it.
Yeah, I think that's a good call.
First time Tuskegee's gone for it on fourth down this season. But you go back to last year, led the SIAC in fourth down conversion rate. Beal on the ground in the hands of his tailback, and Jaquil Rouser gets more than just the one Tuskegee needed.
I really like the call on that play, just straight up the gut, offensive line, giving him an opportunity, and he just powers through. And now we're talking about a Tuskegee team that is near the red zone again.
Yeah, knocking on the door to score with a minute left here in the opening quarter.
Yeah, you see there some really good blocks from the O-line.
Raekwon Beal trying to find the end zone for the second time tonight. The Detroit, Michigan native takes the snap and looks to air it out. Over the middle, finds E.J. Hall. Twice as nice. A pair of touchdown connections between Beal and Hall, and Tuskegee is back in front.
And once again, you just got to give Tuskegee credit for the quick strike, the opportunities that are being set up by the fact that they're getting what they need in the ground game. Here an opportunity, a fake there, a toss off, a switch right there to E.J. Hall once again, and he just walks right into the end zone.
The Troy transfer doing big things, not only this season, but especially here tonight for the Golden Tigers. He's a hometown kid, a Tuskegee native, who's back home representing his hometown team. Lorcan Ryans punts it through, and it's 14-7 Tuskegee. With time running out here in the opening quarter, really sticks out to you, Tanitra, the connection between Beal and his brand new wideout.
Yeah, it sticks out the connection there, but it also sticks out the opportunities that they're getting from their tight ends, from their halfback, to be able to give key blocks and give the opportunity that Beal needs to get the ball down the field to his receiver.
You know, Hall, coming out of high school, was recruited by Tuskegee, was a three-star recruit coming out of Booker T. Washington High School. Ends up committing to Troy. Had about 20 offers in total, including a couple Power Fours. Arkansas being one of them. He's here in the Palmetto State tonight. South Carolina was in on that offer list as well. But ends up going to Troy. Didn't see the field last season as a cornerback. That's how they had him slated for their Sun Belt squad. Ends up going in the portal. Decided, you know what? Tuskegee was in on me from the beginning. It's back home. That's where family is. I will head back to Tuskegee. And they've got him as a wide receiver, but Coach Aaron James told us, don't be surprised. He may hop over on the defensive side here and there.
Indeed, that versatile of a player.
Jalal Sam will make the catch and take a knee in the end zone. As Benedict, after not facing a deficit through their first two games of the season, now faces their second one tonight.
And just a huge opportunity for Tuskegee. And that was something, again, that they talked about, kind of jumping out quickly. And when you look at what the O-line was able to do, Aaron James said he challenged his O-line to be better. And you look at really a collective effort from that entire offensive line, from the halfbacks down to the tight ends, and really making it happen so that when you get the opportunity that Raekwon Beal had, he and E.J. Hall are able to connect and deliver.
Darius Ocean once again on try to move this Benedict offense down the field. Their first scoring drive did it through the air for the most part. Two receivers each side. He's got Morgan in the backfield looking to pass quickly to the right side. It's batted and knocked down. Boy, coming off a big-time slide left side of the line, batting that down.
Yeah. A little early tussle between these teams, because we know it's important. This is a conference matchup for them, and it's important that Tuskegee get back in the win column as well. So you're going to see a little aggressiveness there, but just that ball just short.
Yeah, that was Noah Holton on that strong safety blitz that worked his way up into the vision and throwing lane of Ocean. 2nd and 10 from their own 25. Morgan, attacking the right side, is able to leap across the 30 before Holt's there to bring him down.
And just a little quick jaunt to the right side there by Tristan Morgan. Little shake and bake to give them a 3rd and manageable.
Had over 300 yards on the ground last season at Fort Valley State. Head coach Sean Gibbs, who made the move in the offseason to North Carolina A&T. That takes us to the end of the first quarter. Tuskegee, after a pair of touchdown passes from Beal to Hall, has a 14-7 lead over Benedict here on the road. An exciting Thursday night matchup between two conference foes, and we're just getting started. At the end of one, Tuskegee leads it 14-7. Tuskegee leads Benedict as we get the second quarter underway. The Tigers looking at 3rd and 4 from their own 31.
And this is an opportunity for Benedict to really start to make some noise in this second quarter.
Ocean, a quick pass to the right side, out of the reach of Tristan Morgan.
Yeah, and that's one of the areas where they've actually had some success in the first quarter, with the receiving yards for both of these teams being a little bit tighter. But where Tuskegee was able to really pull away and get the 7-point lead was in their run game, and that is something that Aaron James talked about. They wanted to win the battle in minimizing mistakes. Only one penalty in that first quarter, and also they wanted the opportunity to really control the game by time of possession, 9 minutes, 9.5 minutes to 5 minutes for the Benedict Tigers.
Yeah, Tuskegee out rushing Benedict 64-16. Punt away for E.J. Hall, who's caught 2 touchdowns tonight. Across the 30, wrapped up across the 35-yard line, and that's where Tuskegee's offense will make their way back out onto the field. You know, Tenitra, we talked about getting that run game going, but overall, Aaron James and offensive coordinator Harry Williams caught a pretty balanced attack so far, 67 through the air to pair with those 64 on the ground.
Yeah, and I love that, because that's how you get your play action to be so effective. But one of the opportunities, one of the successes has been not just that they've run the ball, but so effectively garnering 5.3 yards per carry.
Raekwon Beal, the Detroit, Michigan native, his second season commanding the Tigers offense. Career started out at Faulkner University at the NAIA level. Goes back on the ground, trying to create some space. First carry tonight for Zena Mulba, the junior out of Atlanta. Is able to pick up maybe a yard on first down.
Number 19, Jaquel Rouser on the carry for the Tuskegee Tigers.
And that's what we expected to see from this Tuskegee Tiger offense, that running back room very deep. We were told that it was going to be running back by committee tonight.
Second and 9. On the ground once again. This time it's Rouser trying to create some space. Gets back to the line of scrimmage, but not much more.
And you kind of see defensive coordinator Shea Campbell bringing some of his guys up to the line of scrimmage, anticipating a run play there from Tuskegee.
Once again for Tuskegee.
And Benedict's defense, who had kind of been the talk of the SIAC through the first 2 weeks of the season, well, they're trying to keep Tuskegee out of the end zone for the first time tonight. 2 for 2 on scores for the Golden Tigers.
Yeah, we haven't heard a lot about the D-ends. That's the word that we were hearing from Ron Dickerson, to watch out for Israel Wokacha and, of course, Cam Williams at corner. Let's see what they do here on a 3rd and long.
Yeah, Wokacha attacking, pressuring from the right side, but Beal's pass finds its man. Reeling it in along that far side. It's Malik Thomas, the Alabama A&M transfer. His first catch of the night.
Yeah, and that's a nice call on 3rd and 9. Just a little tap there from Beal. Gets the ball across midfield, and now there's an opportunity here for Tuskegee, yet finding themselves again in Benedict territory.
Timeout, Tigers. Benedict going to try to talk things over, because defensively something's just not clicking right now for the home team. We'll step aside with them. When we come back, we'll rejoin you from Columbia.
This is Benedict first.
Things on defense. Coming in, Tenitra Benedict, opponent scoring average on the year, a big goose egg, 0 through 2 games. Tonight, Tuskegee's found the end zone twice before halftime.
Yeah, Tuskegee with 10 first downs already in this game.
They try attacking the ground once again. If you weren't with us a little bit earlier, it's been a pretty balanced attack for this Tuskegee offense. Just around 60 yards apiece, both on the ground and through the air. That time we went back to Rouser, sophomore out of Hueytown, Alabama. Tenitra, from your perspective, what is it about this Benedict defense that just seems to not be clicking right now?
Yeah, it seems like and I can see some miscommunication between the defensive front and the secondary, and you can see that their DC was trying to maybe move some guys to the line to bring help, but it seems like Tuskegee's moving not with a full tempo offense, but a bit of a tempo offense that's throwing this Benedict defense off.
Beal to the left side, stretching out and hauling it in is Gabriel Carmen. What a grab from the redshirt sophomore.
Yeah, the Benedict Tigers just seem to be a step off, and part of that is because Beal is able to get that ball out of his hands very quickly, and he's just been able to hit his target, E.J. Hall, all night.
A perfect throw from the senior quarterback who, his head coach told us, he said, look, I told him coming into this week, this is a conference game. This is a must-win game. He said, to put it shortly, in his own words, I put a fire under him here this week.
Yeah, I love it. We both, I think, chuckles. Okay, fire under the butt. Well, that gets you a QBR rating of 216 so far.
Towards the end zone, clear pass interference.
Whoa.
Don't know why the DB is confused whatsoever. Not sure exactly what Andre Jocelyn was trying to figure out what he did wrong. I think it's pretty obvious.
Yeah, note to self, 13. It's just that, 13 is considered kind of a bad luck type of number. Well, that was bad luck for Andre Jocelyn. And right there in front of the referee, I mean, I'm not sure what he was thinking on that play other than maybe to save a touchdown, but that's not the way that you want to save the touchdown.
Here's our referee, Alex Sigg.
Pass interference. Defense. Number 13. Scott Fowl. Automatic first down.
An automatic first down that takes Benedict down to the 7-yard line. The Tigers' third drive of the night, looking for their third score. On the ground, bouncing around, trying to create some space. And that Benedict ground game, looked like that was Rouser once again. And set up 2nd and goal.
Yeah, and with this Benedict defense, it just feels like they're out of sorts, feels like they're just not communicating, but also they're just not closing the gaps enough. And when you talk about the time of possession, even in the first half, and you're grounding this ball, this is how you also wear this defense down.
Zena Mulba in the backfield with Beal.
2nd down and go.
2 receivers left side, one-on-one action with E.J. Hull on the right. Back in the hands of Mulba. He is wrapped up and brought down in the backfield. Getting there in an awful big hurry off that D-line was Jacoby Wall.
Yeah, and maybe Wall's play is the type of thing that Benedict needs to do to gain some momentum. They have sniffed out a couple of these plays this game, but I think this may be the biggest, just wrapping your guy up and making sure you tackle him and getting him down to the ground. We just talked about the fact that we hadn't spoken about Israel Wokacha. Well, here he is making an impact.
Just the second time here in the first half that Tuskegee has been brought down for a loss on offense. Bunch formation with Mulba still in the backfield with Beal. 3rd and goal from the 8. Beal looking towards the end zone. Incomplete. Was facing heavy pressure as the pocket collapsed just as soon as he let go of it.
Pass intended for number 10.
Yeah, definitely a missed opportunity there for Tuskegee to take a 2-possession lead, but great job by the Benedict defense for collecting themselves even after that DPI to be able to force a field goal.
Isaiah Alston Daniels, senior D lineman, down right now for the Tigers. Was under that big pile that collapsed around Raekwon Beal on the sack. Tough spot to see here for one of the Benedict experienced veterans. We'll step aside and be back. A tough scene right now here in the second quarter. After a near sack in the backfield, Benedict defensive lineman Isaiah Austin Daniels unable to walk back off, and they're going to have to bring out the medical cart right now for the defensive lineman.
Yeah, you really always hate to see something like that happen. We obviously saw one of the O-linemen earlier in the game for Tuskegee be able to walk off under his own power, so kind of hope the same. But unfortunately, it looks like, as you mentioned, he'll have to be carted off the field.
Austin Daniels, a senior out of Greenleeville, South Carolina. Key piece to what's been a really strong defensive front for the Tigers early on this season. And a stadium here tonight in the capital city of Columbia that's had a lot of life to it. It's been awfully quiet as of late.
Indeed. So just hopeful that it won't be something too serious, but tough blow for this Tigers defense.
Austin Daniels going down as the ending result of a play where Raekwon Beal overthrew his intended target in the end zone, which will set up 4th and goal for Tuskegee when this game does get back underway. The Tigers do lead this one over Benedict 14-7 with 10:32 to play in the first half.
Yeah, and this is one of those things where although the Benedict player is down, you can even see a silence that's come over the sideline for Tuskegee as well, because as opponents, they go at it, play in and play out, but you never want to see something like this happen, even if you're on the opposite side of the field.
Good now to see the young man being helped up. With what appears to be a left leg injury. Head coach Ron Dickerson Jr. right there to help him get back to his feet. See there the head coach leaning in, just giving his senior defensive lineman a hug. Yes. Isaiah Austin Daniels will be carted off from this one here in the second quarter. Good round of applause from both crowds here tonight, and certainly our best wishes to him on a speedy recovery of whatever that injury may be.
Absolutely.
We'll get back underway. It's 4th and goal for Tuskegee. Ball spotted at the 8-yard line, and they're going to bring on the special teams unit for the first time tonight. Lorcan Ryans out there to attempt what will be a 25-yarder. The hold from Brent, kick up, and it is good. Lorcan Ryans now 5 for 9 on the season on kicks, and he extends Tuskegee's lead now 17-7 Golden Tigers.
Yeah, and the Benedict finds itself in a position they've not been in this entire season, so it'll be interesting to see how Ron Dickerson responds. But Lorcan Ryans and Lorcan, this Tuskegee Golden Tigers team, trust the chip shot and the make.
Yeah, a player that has played a lot throughout his 3-year career at Tuskegee, and it's sort of unique how he ended up there.
Yeah.
See, Lorcan Ryans, he isn't from Tuskegee, Alabama.
He's not even from America. So.
This is a Limerick, Ireland native who just happened to have his film land in the right people's hands.
Yes.
And he came all the way over, was ready to make the move to the States back just before his freshman season, and head coach Aaron James was excited to have him. And wouldn't you know it, suddenly an Ireland native is getting to know the back roads of Tuskegee.
Yeah, and amazingly so, Coach Kincaid, who works with a lot of kickers around the world, really integral in recruiting him. And now Lorcans has recruited the punter, Colin Brent, for the Tuskegee Golden Tigers.
Jackson Williams trying to break free, but is unable to escape that tackle. Just shy of the 30-yard line. Wrapping him up there was Arnaud Sellers, senior, on the stop. Well, Tuskegee's offense, really this season, they've been able to work around their slow starts to games. In fact, throughout this year on offense for Benedict, things really haven't flowed smoothly. A pair of 10-0 wins, scoring only one offensive touchdown this season in those two games. But here tonight, they're going to have some ground to make up, now trailing by 10 points.
Yeah, interesting to see how Ron Dickerson is going to play this, because we did talk earlier about the possibility of playing two quarterbacks, Jackson Jensen and Darius Ocean. But, of course, Darius Ocean's still under center right now.
On the ground, handoff for David Smith. Got stopped just shy of the 30-yard line, a pickup of about 1. Smith, redshirt sophomore out of Houston, Texas. His first carry of the season. Ocean in the gun, 3 receivers to his left, 1 to the right. On 2nd and 9, steps up trying to escape. Now airs it out right side, throws a bit behind Hillman, and penalty flags fly in as the DB tried to recover.
Yeah, that one, an easy call for the referees there. Plenty of time for Ocean, and you think he's going to take off, but really he's just buying himself some time and then airs it out. But ultimately, that ball doesn't get there because of the pass interference.
Automatic first down.
An automatic first down for the Tigers. Gets them set up just shy of the 45. Kay Crenshaw, Tanitra Batiste here with you from Columbia, South Carolina tonight. So happy you've made us part of your Thursday evening. 1st and 10. Back on the ground. Breaking free with speed is David Smith. And David Smith gets up to the 35.
Well, you want to talk about gaps opening and taking advantage of the gap. Indeed, you see that on that play right there. Quick pitch out. And 20 is off to the races. Great opportunity for Benedict finding themselves back in Tuskegee territory.
1st and 10, trying to find the end zone here. 35 yards out for the home Tigers. Quick strike, left side, caught. Trying to make a move is Johnny Arnias Jr. Picks up a solid gain of 9. They're on 1st down, 2nd and short, upcoming.
Number 86, Johnny Arnias.
Freshman out of Fort Lauderdale, Florida. Don't be surprised with how many Florida natives you hear about here tonight. It's very prevalent for this Tigers team, and it's because of their head coach's history. On the ground, Smith breaks free. David Smith finds the end zone for the first time this season and draws Benedict closer. They're back within 4, pending the extra point.
And that could be just what Benedict needs. You see a lot of excitement going back to the sideline there. But again, give credit to an O-line that Ron Dickerson felt like didn't do what they needed to do. They needed to open up those gaps and allow those running backs the opportunity to get to daylight, and that's just what he found on that play. Touchdown, Benedict.
Let's call that the David Smith drive. Hadn't played through the first 2 games of the season. Those his first 3 carries of the night. And Benedict is able to move completely down the field thanks to his 48 rushing yards. Extra point was made. Referees slowing things down. Got a penalty flag out there. Looks like it's going to be against Tuskegee. So the Tigers will decline it and take the score. How about David Smith? You talk about making a first impression, that's a way to do it.
Yeah, and we talked about the 1-2 punch for the Tuskegee running game and the fact that they have running back by committee, but you got a running back by committee with Benedict as well.
Benedict in the end zone. We're back to a 1-score game. It's 17-14 Tuskegee. We're back to a 1-score game here at Charlie Johnson Stadium, Columbia, South Carolina. Tuskegee up 17-14 on Benedict. But Tenitra, thanks to the running game of David Smith, really showing us a big spark on the ground for the first time tonight for the home Tigers.
Yeah, and when we talked to Ron Dickerson, he talked about a 1-2 punch that he wanted in Tristan Morgan and TJ Finney. But of course, Finney goes down in that first game, and it's good to see David Smith picking up the slack.
Solid return up across the 20-yard line, trying to create some space there for Tuskegee. Joshua Lee, it looked like. The main thing, I think, right now, Tenitra, for Benedict, let's start on their side of things. We finally see their ground game start to get going on that last drive. Now you're going to need to see their defense really step up and force a 3-and-out. Tuskegee has gotten the ball 3 times tonight and came away with points each trip.
Indeed, yeah, this is a real opportunity for Benedict. It looked like they settled down when they were able to stop Tuskegee for punching, get in again on their last possession. Let's see what they can do on this one.
On the flip side, for Tuskegee, no doubt you want to see Raekwon Beal continue in the groove he's found tonight. Pass right side, too far in front as he tried to connect with Garmin down the right sideline.
Yeah, Raekwon Beal, coach said he had to understand that this is a conference game, and although he wasn't able to connect on that particular throw, you've seen the poise, you've seen the understanding of just how important this game is for Tuskegee to have the opportunity to get a win and get back in the driver's seat.
Beal tonight 7 for 13 for 114 and 2 scores. Left side on the ground, trying to find some room is Rouser. Instead, he's ran out of bounds after a pickup of only 1. A big piece early on, Tenitra, for Tuskegee was Johnny Morris on the ground. We talk about the depth of this running back room, and there's a lot of different faces that they can work in, but a little surprised we haven't seen Morris much here over the last few drives.
Yeah, it seems like coach is deferring a little bit more to Rouser, interested to see if he's going to pull in Desmond Leverett, but yeah, Morris has been quiet on the last couple drives.
This time, 2 in the backfield accompany Beal. It's Rouser and also Zena Molba. Senior quarterback, play action, pressure coming. Will he escape? The answer's no. Israel Wokachuk, the preseason All-American, wraps him up and takes him down.
Kate, I think I woke him up. I think I woke him up because this is now the second time in as many plays that we've heard his name, and he comes through and makes his presence known, but he gets a little bit of assistance from the defensive front from Desmond Thompson, the defensive tackle there as well, pushing Tuskegee all the way back just about inside their 5.
Yeah, the 15th career sack for the graduate student out of Atlanta, Georgia. Callum Brent pinned deep in his own end zone. 4th down for the Tigers. Pressure coming from Benedict. Brent's able to get the kick off. And quickly, the Tigers call for a fair catch as Sean Mingo hauls it in. Danger, we said going into that drive, you and I felt like we really needed to see a strong showing from Benedict's defense. No doubt a 3-and-out does it, but a big sack as well from that defensive line gives you a spark as well.
Indeed, indeed. And I feel like that last possession, and especially when you have a goal line stand, it does something to really energize you. And it felt like that was really what gave Benedict that momentum and the opportunity to kind of settle down and reset and be the dominant defense we know them to be.
Darius Ocean back on the field. Last season, Johnson C. Smith set the school's single-season passing yards record, over 2,300 through the air last year, going along with 16 scores for the CIAA champions. On the ground, Morgan trying to break free. He won't. Stop just shy of the 40. Pickup about 4.
Number 0, Tristan Morgan on the carry for the Tigers. Bringing up a 2nd down.
Benedict in search of their first lead of the night after not trailing for the first 2 games of the season. 3 receiver set for Ocean. On 2nd and manageable. Back in the hands of Morgan. Sidesteps 1 defender, but will not escape Messiah Wells.
Yeah, and this is going to be a 3rd down and 5, but a long 5. for this Benedict offense right there. You see them kind of move to their left, but Tuskegee ready for that particular play. Now, interested to see if Benedict is able to show sort of that moxie and be able to move the chains on a long 3rd and 5.
You certainly don't want to see Benedict's offense miss out on the spark that Waukesha's sack of Beal could potentially give them. 2 to each side for Ocean. He'll have pass protection from Morgan. Stepping up, now escaping. He stays on his feet. Darius Ocean zips it over the middle and finds a target around the 30-yard line. Boy, Darius Ocean, the escape artist, kept that play alive as long as he could until he finally could connect with Malachi Jones.
Yeah, a really great opportunity there. You'll see Darius Ocean short of showing that veteran presence, if you will. He feels the pressure coming, but he takes the opportunity, kind of does a little bit of a backpedal there, but is able to escape just long enough, kind of giving some signals to his receivers. Give me a moment, I got you, and right through the middle of the field there to move the chains for Benedict.
Fresh set of downs at the 28. Ocean trying to get Benedict not just into the red zone, but the end zone. Right side pass in the air and dropped. Boy, nearly a big-time catch from Johnny Arneas Jr., but just slipped out of his hands.
Yeah, that's one you know he's going to want back, because you're looking there and you're seeing the patience, the toss, and that ball is right there, kind of right. Yeah, that's right in the breadbasket. You got to make that catch.
Couldn't have been a better throw from Darius Ocean, the Raleigh, North Carolina kid. Benedict, the 4th stop in Darius Ocean's collegiate career. Started out back in 2020 at Western Kentucky. Spent 3 years there with the Hilltoppers. Then moved on for a season at Valdosta State, but didn't see much playing time. And then last year really came alive and became CIAA first-teamer for Johnson C. Smith. Timeout taken here for Benedict, wanting to talk some things over. I think Ron Dickerson Jr. recognizes, hey, 4:41 left here in the half. A score here may give us the lead into the break.
Yeah, and I'd like to see Benedict use the opportunity to take some time off the clock as well, kind of grind some things out, because you could see that with Tuskegee doing that in the first quarter, it took Benedict's defense a time, like a tick or two, to be able to catch their breath. Now this is an opportunity for Benedict's offense to grind a little bit and maybe wear Tuskegee's defense down as well.
17-14. Tuskegee leads Benedict on this Thursday night. Benedict 2-0 on the season. Wins over Fayetteville State and Central State. Meanwhile, the Tuskegee Golden Tigers 2-1 on the year. Took the season opener over Winston-Salem State, then started out league play 1-0 with a 34-0 shutout win against Central State. But they're got a bad taste in their mouth. Last week went on the road and lost to the defending SWAC champions in Jackson State, 30-0.
Yeah, and that's something Coach Aaron James talked about. They have to play better on the road. Short week, but they're prepared for this. They want to make a statement, and I think they've done a good job of it so far this first half.
2nd and 10. Ocean pressure. Hit as he throws towards the end zone. Caught. Touchdown, Benedict. Jackson Williams, first score of the season, gives the Tigers the lead.
Yeah, and we talked about Jackson Williams and the fact that he's a fast guy. He can run. He definitely was our one to watch on special teams. But don't forget, he's lethal as a wide receiver as well. And a perfect strike there from Darius Ocean for another Benedict score.
Coach Ron Dickerson Jr. told us, you can't coach the type of speed that Jackson Williams had. And Tenitra, you could see the amount of space he created between him and the last man standing.
Indeed, indeed. It was really an opportunity for Benedict, as we mentioned, for them to have good field position and to take advantage, to take the lead.
Zane Spire splits the uprights and gives Benedict a 21-17 lead. Boy, a 28-yard strike. Darius Ocean to a wide-open, speedy Jackson Williams has Benedict in front for the first time tonight.
Tuskegee, 17.
14 unanswered points has given the Benedict band something to play about. The Tigers leading Tuskegee for the first time tonight, 21-17. Less than 5 minutes to play before the half.
And a big part of them doing that is the philosophy that Coach Ron Dickerson talked about. He talked about mixing things up, being able to put your ingredients together, develop the chemistry, and use multiple sets of people. You got 5 receivers who've touched the ball, 3 running backs who touched the ball for Benedict, and a nice mix of pass rush on that last possession.
Return to the 21-yard line from Rouser. Boy, Tenitra, we've just seen Benedict's offense come alive, and something they haven't been used to this season, an offensive shootout. We've mentioned it a couple times, but Benedict 2-0 thanks to a pair of 10-0 shutout wins so far this year. So tonight, the visiting team scoreboard here at Charlie W. Johnson Stadium getting some action for the first time.
Yeah, and that's how you grow when your back's against the wall in a way that you've not seen this entire season. How are you going to respond? You respond with 14 unanswered points.
Now it goes back to Raekwon Beal, who was really in a rhythm early on, but has cooled off over these last 5 minutes or so. In the hands of Rouser, spun out of 1 tackle, but stepping up is Isaiah Stevens, the reigning SIAC Defensive Player of the Week, to bring him down.
And Rouser just keeps his legs churning on that play. A nice little way to start this first possession, because we talked about the running back by committee. Aaron James looking to go with Rouser for the last couple of possessions, and now it's a 1st and 10.
Rouser back in the backfield along with Jeffrey Kimochu, the fullback. Second and short for Tuskegee. Beal looking for the answering score, goes back on the ground for Rouser, who stumbled right out of the gate and will only pick up a yard.
And check that, I gave him a 1st and 10 a little too soon, but now we're talking about a 3rd and a very reasonable 1 yard for them to move the chains, for Tuskegee to move the chains.
Still surprised, and we'll be curious to see if it's some injury concerns at the half that we haven't seen Johnny Morris all of the second quarter.
Yeah, because it flies in the face of what Aaron James told us, which is you're going to give it to the hot hand, and Johnny Morris was definitely that in that first quarter for Tuskegee.
Yeah, the senior preseason all-conference tailback absent thus far. Pass to the right side, incomplete, intended for E.J. Hall around the 35. That brings on 4th down.
Yeah, and great anticipation there from the Benedict secondary. Jamal Sam knowing exactly where Beal was going to go, and right there to make sure that that play was broken up.
Callum Brent back to punt for the Tigers. Sean Mingo, the junior hometown kid. He's a Columbia, South Carolina native, back to receive for Benedict. Brent able to get the kick away. Mingo going to try for a return, but he won't get very far. Quickly there is Marquise Hawthorne, the senior, who takes him down right away.
And a strategic punt there by Brent, deciding, hey, we're going to go for the high punt for the hang time. That gives the special teams for Tuskegee an opportunity to get back, and for Benedict to not get much on the return.
Benedict going to try to continue this offensive rhythm that they found here in the second quarter. 14 unanswered points has them in front with under 3 to play before the half. Darius Ocean in a 4-receiver set, going to look to pass. Steps up in the pocket, now tries to bounce out to the right side. Makes his man up and move. It's incomplete as he dumped it off. Second down on the way.
And you got the refs having some conversation after that play.
Trying to talk about potentially some intentional grounding there, but you have to look at where Ocean was.
Yeah.
He's outside the hashes there. And you could argue an intended target.
Indeed.
Along that right sideline. 2nd and 10 for Benedict, leading 21-17. Ocean drops back, the southpaw, quick strike out to the left side, finds Trey Simmons for a nice pickup of 6.
Number 1, Trey Simmons on reception.
Simmons, a player last year, was Benedict's quarterback. Threw for over 3,000 yards in his career. Started out at Tuskegee College. Now Darius Ocean looks left side, trying to find Noah Johnson. It's incomplete. And here's a flag.
And mission accomplished, because you could see the Benedict coaches lobbying for that DPI. Tuskegee secondary beside themselves, arguing the point that there was no infraction there, but looks like Benedict will get the chains moved.
We'll take another look here ourselves and see what the referee saw in this pass interference call. And that's against Michael King Jr., the preseason All-American in the secondary for Tuskegee. Has completely rewritten the history books as a defensive back with all the accolades he's collected in his career.
Yeah, but the one thing you can't do is pull on the jersey in front of the referee and expect that not to be called.
Referee doesn't care that you're a preseason all-conference. First and 10, Benedict at the 44. Approaching the 2-minute timeout here in the first half. The Tigers in front by 4 points. 4 receivers set. Out to the left side. Boy, Darius Ocean is really liking these quick passes into the flats. That time he finds Troy Hillman.
Yeah, and that was a great recovery by Darius Ocean, because that ball snapped to him a little bit low. He's able to pretty much pick it up off the ground and still make something out of that play.
Pickup of 8 sets up second and short. And Ron Dickerson Jr. quickly stepping up as the clock hit 2 minutes. The question is, did he get the timeout in before the 2-minute timeout? And I don't think he did, though the referees will talk about it. That is our 2-minute timeout here in the first half. Tuskegee, after starting out this one hot, has cooled off. Benedict, the hot hand. The Tigers lead it 21-17. Coming out of the 2-minute timeout here in the first half, Benedict in front of Tuskegee, 21-17. Benedict Tigers trying to score their 3rd consecutive unanswered touchdown. And take a commanding lead into the locker rooms. Second and short from the Tuskegee 37. Ocean going to step up and run for the first time tonight. Bounces off a defender. And then is brought down. Giving forward progress up to the 31, but Ocean there took a big hit. He's a little slow to his feet.
Yeah, but a good opportunity there just to keep the chains moving. And an opportunity for Benedict on the board before the half. Tuskegee hasn't scored since the 10:47 mark in the second quarter, but both teams have all 3 of their timeouts left, so we'll see what kind of chess match we see in this last minute 40.
First and 10 from the 31. Clock approaching 90 seconds to play here in the second quarter. 4 receivers set for Ocean. Low snap, picks it up off a hop. Quick strike once again. He finds Jackson Williams, who he connected with on a 28-yard touchdown on the previous drive.
Yeah, another low snap that somehow Darius Ocean saves, and he's able to make something out of the play.
He's just looked like an escape artist tonight. It seems like anytime Tuskegee's nearly brought him down for a sack or plays that they could potentially capitalize on like that one, a low snap, Ocean just able to make something out of nothing.
Yeah, and that's the agility that Ron Dickerson talked about with Ocean that he brings when he's under center.
Second and 5 from the 26. Clock at 1:23. Ocean, 3-step drop towards the front pylon, incomplete, and a pair of flags fly in.
And the Tuskegee secondary beside themselves about yet another DPI on their part. It's just been a rough outing for this secondary for Tuskegee. You see there Ocean once again buying a little bit of time, tosses it up in the end zone. And this is a play that worked for this team a couple possessions back. And, yeah, that's one of those where 14, you got to turn your head before the ball gets to the receiver in order for you to have an argument that maybe it's not DPI, but clearly there. It doesn't turn the head, gets in the face of the receiver. Easy call for the referee.
Strong safety Timothy Grayson, the guilty party there, as Shatarius Williams tried to haul it in. It's a spot foul, so it's a half the distance to the goal in this instance. That takes him up to the 11.
First down.
First and 10, Benedict from the 11-yard line. He got just over 70 seconds to play with. Everyone running towards the end zone. Ocean looking, and it's incomplete. Tried to find Malik Mullins climbing the ladder for the high throw.
Yeah, you look at that play, and that's one of those where Antonio Knight's kind of preparing. You see that there are wideouts all over the place. Everybody, as you mentioned, running to the end zone, but so is the defender running towards the end zone, Antonio Knight, and he's able to break that up.
All 3 timeouts left for Benedict. 1:12 to play. They need to go to the ground, they can. They've got a Keon Durant in the backfield with Ocean. But the Tigers are looking to air it out. Ocean escapes again. Flag flies in. Steps up on the ground. Gets inside the 10. Tackled at the 7. But will this be a hold call that backs Benedict up?
Yeah, interested to see. And you see Darius Ocean walking back. So, yeah, this play will be called back.
Here's our referee, Alex Sigg. Holding there on Tariq Monroe, the right tackle.
Holding called against the Benedict Tigers.
And what was first down from the 11s, now second down from the 21.
Yeah, and Benedict had some early penalties, but really it played a pretty clean second quarter, kind of an inopportune time for this penalty for Benedict, but this may be an opportunity for Tuskegee maybe to save a touchdown.
Clock under 50 seconds to play here in the second quarter. Ocean steps up in the pocket, has some space, hits his target inside the 5. Malachi Jones with a big catch. Definitely changes how Benedict feels right now. Just as they were getting put in reverse, the car sped awfully fast towards the end zone.
Yeah, and Ocean calling his number, seeing where his guy is. We've called Malachi Jones' name the whole night. Seems like it's favorite target tonight, and he's delivering, and he's got them right there on the cusp of another touchdown.
Timeout on the field with 33 seconds to play. It was taken by Benedict. As the Tigers lead Tuskegee 21-17 on this Thursday night. Denitra, as the first half sort of comes here to a close, what's some takeaways you have from the first 2 quarters?
Yeah, it's really been all Benedict's. It's been the tale of 2 quarters. Tuskegee starting out strong. We talked about Johnny Morris and them really leaning into their run game, not even having to do it by committee because they had so much success in the short term. And then you see the opportunities there where it's Beal to Hall on their first 2 touchdowns. And then it kind of gets quiet and you see that goal line, pretty much that goal line stand from the Benedict defense, forcing the field goal, and it's been Benedict ever since.
First and goal, Tigers from the 1. Low snap in the hands of Durant, immediately met by Messiah Wells and drove into the ground.
Yeah, and that time Darius Ocean couldn't save a low snap from Jason Miller, so now you're back at the 4-yard line with about 17 seconds and counting.
Ocean taking the snap, quickly spiking. That stops the clock at 13 seconds. Understanding they had to move quickly there, but because of the last 2 plays, they've also moved in reverse once again back to the 4.
Indeed. Interesting call because you do start that with 17 seconds and you got a timeout left. So if anything, you're thinking maybe you get one more pass play in there before you decide to go for the field goal. But maybe Ron Dickerson's thought is, hey, we've gotten the momentum. We've been able to take the lead. We'll take these 3 points into halftime, and then we'll see where we start in the second half.
Play clock under 10.
Then again, Darius Ocean is still out on the field, so.
Play clock at 5. Now 3, 2. Will they get the snap off? No, they won't, but yeah. Tuskegee is the one to take the timeout.
Yeah, interesting.
So defensively, head coach Aaron James not liking what he saw and wanted to talk things over.
Interesting chess match, and maybe he's thinking as well, you spiked the ball, so that's an indication you're going to go for the field goal, but then you see Darius Ocean get back out under center, and you want to reset your defense so that there's not an easy walk into the end zone before the half.
And what a difference a 7-point deficit makes versus 10.
Absolutely, absolutely. And listen, when you're a Tuskegee team that didn't have an opportunity to score in the game against Jackson State, but you saw your defense really come alive in that second half where you only allowed the Jackson State Tigers to score 9 points, maybe there's an opportunity here for you to stop Benedict, hold them to 3, and then come back with that same momentum you saw in the second half of last game.
True freshman kicker for Benedict, Zane Spires, is 2 for 4 on the season, but he's perfect inside of 40. 13 seconds left here in the first half. Benedict does have a timeout to work with. It's 3rd and goal from the 4. Ocean in a 4-receiver set has Durant next to him in the backfield. Ocean takes a snap towards the back pylon. Incomplete. Flags fly in. Another pass interference call on Tuskegee secondary.
And I got to tell you, we're up here in the booth and we have the opportunity to see some of the defensive coaching staff for Tuskegee, and they are absolutely beside themselves. It's one of those things where you kind of saw that chess match, and the secondary for Tuskegee goaded into that play. Ocean just puts it up in the air. It's a 50-50 ball, but what you don't want to do in that situation is turn that ball into basically right there at the goal line. Antonio Knight making another bad decision about defending that play.
The biggest thing this does, and not just moves the ball forward, but that was 3rd down. Now it's 1st and goal. You got 9 seconds.
And you have a timeout.
You got enough time for two plays,
yeah.
Maybe a quick third if you're going to try awfully fast, but Darius Ocean going to try to score here. Benedict up 21-17, looking to add to that before the break. 1st and goal, low snap. Ocean over the middle, connects with Malachi Jones for the touchdown.
Unbelievable.
14, Malachi Jones.
Unbelievable
Sophomore's
change of
second
events.
score of the season. And here in the second quarter, after they faced their first deficit all year, Benedict has brought themselves back into this game in a fury. 21 unanswered points tonight from the Tigers.
Indeed, and give so much credit to this O-line for Benedict, giving Darius Ocean the kind of time that he needs, just enough time to find his guy. And even with the run opportunities, you see just a run here and there, a nice balanced attack for Benedict to take a 10-point lead into, or excuse me, an 11-point lead into halftime.
28-17 Benedict. We've got 5 seconds left here in the first half. But for Darius Ocean, making his first start of the season on a team, Tenitra, that's still in a quarterback battle between he and Jackson Jensen. I think what's going through Darius Ocean's mind tonight, he's going to make Ron Dickerson Jr. have awfully hard decisions to make next week. Not going to be easy to just put out of mind Ocean's performance.
At all. Tuskegee comes into this game with Aaron James saying it's a must-win for them, but kind of a must-win for Darius Ocean as well, because you've got Jackson Jensen there, and he's the guy who has that natural connection, if you will, with Malachi Jones. And so now you're making a case for saying, hey, I'm a guy who can put it in the breadbasket as well with him. So, Coach, put me in. Look what I'm going to do.
Have really been impressed with the quarterback for the Tigers tonight. 12 for 19 through the air, 152 yards and 3 touchdowns. to 3 different receivers. Final 5 seconds of the first half. We'll get a Tuskegee return to close things out. Rouser stopped up just shy of the 25. 1 second left on the clock. We'll see if Tuskegee will take a knee and close things out, or if they'll take one more strike at a Hail Mary.
Yeah, I think this is one of those where you just kind of take the knee, get your guys a break, reset, and come back in the second half strong.
Certainly at halftime, the adjustments for Tuskegee is what happened on offense. Things were clicking so well early on. And that's thanks in part, just seemed like the Benedict defense wasn't settled in at the beginning. Coming off the short week here on a Thursday night, just really looked like they were out of sync to begin. But once Benedict's defense locked in, it was game over for Tuskegee.
Yeah, when you saw that defensive front really start winning in the trenches, that gave their secondary an opportunity to be a bit more disruptive as well.
Golden Tigers will put it on the ground. The return of Johnny Morris, his first carry here in the second quarter. So good to see that he's not dealing with an injury bug. He could be a big-time component in the second half.
Indeed, we wondered about that, whether or not it was injury, because he was the hot hand indeed. So maybe that is a chance for him to kind of get his feet reset and ready for the second half.
21 unanswered points and 3 passing touchdowns from quarterback Darius Ocean has brought Benedict back in front here at home, trying to stay undefeated on the early season. At the break, Benedict leads Tuskegee 28-17 in this SIAC battle.
Watch with your eyes and feel with your soul as the beautiful Piperettes dance to Motown Philly by Boys to Men.
It's the oh-so-sweet ladies of Sweet Sensation as they perform and stand for America. Sweet Sensation is under the direction of Cherie Nelson, auxiliary coordinator. Sweet Sensation. All right, fans, it's time to get up because the band of distinction is about to make this deal move. Benedict College, are you ready? The band of distinction is bringing the full script to you. All right, here we go. It's that time, as we always do. Let's get it in, BCBOD. Everybody should know this one. That T.I. Take back, let's go, come on. Get it, let's go. Let's go. again, give it up for your band of distinction. Once again, I can't hear you. Give it up for your band of distinction. Of Dr. Brendan L. Johnson, Assistant Band Directors Ronald T. Green and Garrett D. Rivers, Percussion Coordinator Tariq.
Here at Charlie W. Johnson Stadium in Columbia, South Carolina. We're coming out of the break. Benedict leads Tuskegee 28-17. Kate Crenshaw, Tanisha Batiste here with you. Tanisha, we take a look back at some of the big plays early on in the first half. Here's that one of those early touchdown passes from Beal to E.J. Hall. That one, a 32-yard strike to put Tuskegee in front early. But right back came the Benedict Tigers. A big strike down the left side as they found Malachi Jones, who would score a touchdown later on.
Yeah, Benedict definitely came out with a vengeance in that second quarter. But certainly you had the two strikes from Beal to Hall early in that first quarter, and it looked like Tuskegee was going to run away with it. But then a nice stand by the Benedict defense to force a field goal from Tuskegee. And then Benedict really starts to take over and kind of impose their will, courtesy of a very scrappy Darius Ocean and a run game that picked up the pace with David Smith.
David Smith, that time breaking loose a 26-yard score. This is the first time he's appeared in the game this season. Tail of the tape from the first half, no doubt. Benedict, after some struggles through the first two games offensively, it seems like things have finally clicked, and it all starts with our starting quarterback, Darius Ocean.
Yeah, it's like he really understood the assignment of, hey, there's not a guy yet. It's still a battle between him and Jackson Jensen, but he made a nice case for himself. 12 of 19, 152 yards, and, of course, 3 strikes in the
Here's
first half.
Jackson Williams with room to run. Across the 40, Williams with incredible speed. Down the sideline, taken down at the 4.
And we talked earlier about players to watch and keys to the game, and Jackson Williams was our guy. He's got the type of blazing speed that you saw take him 97 yards down, nearly a touchdown there. But again, just one of those incredible opportunities. You see Jackson Williams kind of disappointed with himself that he wasn't able to punch an end. But what an incredible way for Benedict to start off. Of course, they won the toss. They elected to receive in the second half, and they are starting the second half off with a bang.
Well, the question of who would take the momentum out of the locker room, would Benedict keep holding on to it, or would Tuskegee reclaim it after they found that early rhythm in the first quarter? No doubt the Tigers are fully in control of this one.
Yeah, the Benedict crowd was really quiet to begin this game. So was this Benedict offense, and all of a sudden they just really have awakened, and it's a nice mix of pass rush that we've seen, also called by Stan Clayton, the offensive coordinator for Benedict College, along with Ron Dickerson.
Ocean from the 3 puts it in the hands of Smith. Cut back left, and he's taken down back at the line of scrimmage. Might have even lost a yard. Second and goal upcoming.
Yeah, great opportunity there. A nice stop on the part of the Tuskegee defense, led by Michael McGuire on that tackle. But, yeah, this is one of those situations where if you're Tuskegee's off defense, you have to get a stop right here because you don't want Benedict to continue that momentum we saw in the second quarter.
Second and goal from the 4 for Benedict. Just seconds into the second half. A 97-yard kick return from Jackson Williams has put Benedict in prime real estate right out the gate. Low snap picked right up by Smith, and he's immediately upended at the line by Kaquan Kimber. And oftentimes tonight, Darius Ocean has saved a couple plays, but it's also been an ongoing issue getting a clean snap.
Yeah, and you had to figure at some point that was going to catch up with this Benedict offense. But defensively, you want Tuskegee to have that opportunity to show that they can get it done in the trenches, and the defensive front really is going to need some help, obviously, from Kaquan Kimber. We hadn't talked about their linebackers, and they really are going to have to step up in this second half if Tuskegee is going to claw its way back into this game.
Can Tuskegee's defense try to slow down a little bit on this momentum swing that just feels like a freight train running right at you from Benedict right now? If they can hold the Tigers to a field goal here, you feel like that's a win. But here, whistles blow at the snap, and we'll get a timeout taken by the Tigers. Coach Ron Dickerson Jr. wanting to talk things over.
Is their first charge timeout.
No doubt Benedict made a statement in that second quarter, outscoring Tuskegee 21-3. But to really, really stand tall here in this game, 35-17 lead would do it.
Yeah, and I think in addition to what we finally saw on the offensive side of the ball for Benedict, it was really that defense that started to come to life. We were looking to see if they were going to make a statement. And when we talked to Coach Ron Dickerson earlier in the week, he called them the military. He said that they move around like ants in a military unit, if you will. And he said if the four up front play together, that gives the opportunity for their linebacker core to really step up. And once you see sort of that seven-man front take over, that gives the secondary the opportunities that we've seen where they've been able to really disrupt the passing game for Tuskegee in the second quarter.
We talk about how great the night's been from Benedict quarterback Darius Ocean. What a night it's been. But here, well, Benedict going with a little switch up here. Jackson Jensen into the ball game. First time tonight for the redshirt freshman. Takes a snap, will keep it himself. Drives ahead, is stopped around the 3.
I don't love that call. We talked about Jackson Jensen possibly coming in on that last possession of the first half for Benedict. Whether or not we'd see him. I love seeing him. I just don't know that that's the right call, especially coming from just beyond the 5-yard line trying to punch it in.
And excuse me, not Jackson Jensen. That was an even older quarterback, redshirt junior Bryce Conover, the Dodge City Community College transfer making his season debut.
Whoa, some trickery on the part of Ron Dickerson on that last possession.
Zane Spire steps out for the chip-in field goal, but nothing easy about it. Wide left. He misses the 20-yard kick. And just as Tuskegee got a 97-yard kick return, they can't capitalize and walk away with no points.
That's got to be so frustrating on the part of the special teams unit. You see here just essentially a point after kick. Easy peasy, but not always so easy. Not a give for Zane Spires right there. And you see him just hook. And you see that kick just wide left at the very end, giving Tuskegee some life. Now, we saw them get pinned inside of their 5-yard line to start the game. We saw them have the opportunity to score. Can they do it again and maybe shift some of the momentum?
First time that Spires has missed this season inside of 40. Tuskegee takes over, trying to get back some momentum and get themselves back into this game. Handoff Johnny Morris. Gets to the 20, maybe the 21. Minimal gain on first down.
And that's an opportunity for Tuskegee as well. We saw on the last play before the half ended, Johnny Morris getting back in, able to carry the ball. So maybe that's how they're also going to reset themselves in this third quarter.
After a pair of touchdown passes in the first quarter from Raekwon Beal, both finding E.J. Hall, Tuskegee held to just a 25-yard Working Ryan's field goal in the second quarter. They trail this one 28-17 on the road, trying to avoid back-to-back losses, falling to 500 on the season. Pass left side, caught. Jermaine Hardy Jr. stays in bounds, but won't get much further past the 25 as he is just engulfed right away. Casey Bolton, the D lineman, leading the charge.
Yeah, able to just slow him down enough to be able to wrap him up and ensure that that's not a play for a big gain.
brings up third and manageable. 4 yards to move the chains for Beal and the Golden Tigers. Beal 7 for 15 in this one. 150 yards. Beal dropping back, looking for Hardy on back-to-back plays. Falls away from him and out of bounds. Now it's third down for Tuskegee. Trying to capitalize on the missed Benedict field goal. But as they make the miss on third down, they'll send out the punt unit.
And a really good series there for the Benedict defense, able to get Tuskegee off the field at a 3 and out, maybe get field position and recover from the missed field goal.
Deshaun Mingo back to receive for Benedict.
Back to receive the punt for the Benedict Tigers.
Snap to Brent. Just got it off in time, was facing some pressure. Mingo will call for the fair catch and make the grab at the 34. 10:33 to play here in the third quarter. Benedict in front of Tuskegee, 28-17. Neither team coming away with points on their opening drive of the second half. You really feel like with how much offensive production we saw in the first 2 quarters here tonight, Tanitra, with close to 50 combined points, you feel like maybe the defenses of these two teams heard some words at the break.
Yeah, I think this is maybe what we were more looking to when we think about Tuskegee's first game of the season and how their defense was able to dominate. Benedict holding team scoreless in weeks 1 and 2. This is more of the game I think we thought we'd see.
1st and 10 for Benedict. Darius Ocean back in, pass caught right side, quick strike for Bryant Saravo. The sophomore out of Florida makes his first grab of the season, and it's enough to move the chains up closer to midfield.
Yeah, and the Tuskegee Golden Tigers defense not able to wrap him up there, and now it's an opportunity for Benedict right at midfield.
2 receivers split each side. Ocean pump fakes and goes right back. I believe that's Saravo again. It is. Back-to-back passes to him. First 2 targets of the night, first 2 catches for the youngster. Now it sets up 2nd and 5.
Reception once again for the Tigers.
4 receiver set, shotgun formation for Ocean. The senior quarterback puts it on the ground. That's Tristan Morgan trying to break free. He's not able to escape. Emmanuel Cannon, the senior defensive end, wraps him up.
Number 0, Tristan Morgan on the carry for the Tigers.
Interesting call there by the Benedict offense, because we saw not full tempo, but we saw some up-tempo calls in that second quarter, and it seems like that's where their offense was really able to get rhythm, moving a little bit slow, getting back to the line. Now let's see what they do on this play.
Benedict outgaining Tuskegee in the first half, 225 to 180. Ocean facing pressure, fading past right side. Noah Johnson was falling, and it looks like it wasn't his own fault. Flags fly in. Looks like Timothy Grayson's going to get his second PI call tonight.
Yeah, tough night for Timothy Grayson. He's really, really having a tough time getting ahead of the plays, and it's understandable because, again, we talked about the explosive plays that we've seen from this passing game for Benedict, and at some point you're just trying to stop the bleeding, but you also have to be smart about it, because here you have them on a 3rd and 5 with an opportunity to get the ball back. Now you move the chains, and now they're in your Tuskegee territory.
Defense, number 14. Ball will be placed at the spot of the foul. Automatic first down.
Another look at this one. Ocean had a ton of Tuskegee bodies all in his face at once. And really was just trying to throw it away and avoid the sack, and got a little lucky with some happenings in the secondary.
Yeah, and when you're down 11, those are just mistakes on the defensive side of the ball you can't make.
1st and 10 from the Tuskegee 33. In the hands of Morgan. Right side behind some blockers, gets across the 30 and is ran out of bounds shortly thereafter. That's Michael McGuire, sophomore linebacker out of Pleasant Grove, Alabama, making the stop. Pickup of about 4. Benedict in that first half. 3 passing touchdowns for Darius Ocean. 1 on the ground from David Smith. Tailback got a 26-yard score. The senior signal caller faces a 5-man rush, puts it in the hands of Morgan, spins away from 2 defenders, and is tackled across the 20. Tristan Morgan, a player this team was really excited to add in the offseason, a transfer portal pickup from Fort Valley State. And really, this was the first time that Benedict and head coach Ron Dickerson Jr. were able to capitalize on the transfer portal. It's right back to Morgan as he drives up the middle for a gain of 1. You see, you think back to Dickerson's first season. He took the job after National Signing Day in the spring semester. So it was really a scramble of who he could find and piece together a team in that first quarter. And a line that I love from Coach Dickerson, he said, look, he thinks with the transfer portal, you're always swimming. But this year, it felt like they had a bigger boat.
I love that. I love that line, too. And, yeah, when you see what Tristan Morgan has been able to do, somebody that they'd had their eye on during his days at Fort Valley State, and they felt like he was a perfect fit for this Tigers offense.
And a lot of new faces throughout this Benedict team trying to build off of a 4-6 season a year ago. Ocean, one of those new faces, goes out wide right and finds his man. That's Johnny Arneas Jr. hauling it in up around the 10.
Yeah, first time we were calling his name tonight, and I like the quick strike there. Nice, clean snap. So let's give credit to the center, Jason Miller, because he's had his troubles tonight, but a nice, clean snap there to Ocean. And we're moving the chains once again and getting close to that lower red zone.
And it's a mixture of those new faces and the second-year players in this program that have really created strong chemistry, according to Coach Dickerson. 1st and goal from the 10 for Benedict, trying to build on an 11-point lead. Towards the end zone, right back to Arenas Jr. for the touchdown.
And it has been an absolute nightmare for this Tigers secondary.
And now they're saying incomplete. Ron Dickerson Jr. standing in a little disbelief on the sidelines. He's got the headset off, saying, wait, the initial call was a score, and now we're changing things.
Yeah, we're taking a look at it, and Ocean hitting his target there, and you see hands, right there on the line. Yeah, that's probably going to be, that's coming back. But you see a flag on the field.
Yeah, and that's an important flag because it's Coach Dickerson's flag.
Yeah.
He wants that touchdown.
On the field is an incomplete pass. The play is under further review.
And we will go to a review here and take a look at this pass play.
Yeah, because you can see that he has possession. The right foot looks like it's coming down from that angle. There's a coach in front of it, so a little difficult to see there, but coach appears to believe that it is a touchdown.
Coach is always going to believe
of course.
It's the touchdown.
And the body language there, too, to try to get it in there.
Yeah, my question here is, with that right foot trying to come down, did it actually make contact, or was it just motion kind of being swung across the top of the turf without ever making contact?
Yeah, before that left hand, or left foot rather, was because you could see the left foot touching white. So here we go.
Going to be a close one.
There's
here
another
for our
angle.
officials.
Let's take a look.
This one's going to show you much better. Would be Arneas' first touchdown of the season. And would make this a 34-17 game with the extra point to go. But the call on the field is incomplete. Is there enough video evidence for our officiating crew to overturn this one? I'm not sure. It is a very close call. There's a reason they're still at the monitors this long.
Because even we're looking at it from different angles, and it's a bit of a toss-up. Got the field judge right there in front of us, so just trying to see what part of his body hits the ground, if any, before he goes out of bounds.
One more look. Boy, is that close. I used to say close only counts in horseshoes and hand grenades, but I think it counts here tonight in Columbia, South Carolina, too. This play under video review, and important to note, not because of the officials, but Coach Dickerson threw the challenge flag, one of the newer things to college football, and Coach Dickerson making the most of it, trying to reverse the call and get a touchdown out of this.
And understandable, because here we are a little over midway through the third quarter, and we really haven't seen the offensive firepower from either team that we saw from Tuskegee, of course, in the first quarter, Benedict in the second. So you get up 3 scores midway through the third quarter. That's going to make it that much more difficult for Tuskegee to come back, especially if we're talking about another touchdown versus maybe a field goal, and they're still within 2 scores of getting back in or tying this game up.
Yeah, if you look there, Coach Ron Dickerson in the white hat, you see that red flag sticking out of his back pocket. That's the challenge flag. Head coaches can throw that and try to overturn a play on the field. Now, instances that you can't throw the flag, pass interference is called. You can't throw the flag and say, I didn't think it was pass interference. But on the outcome of a play itself is when the challenge flag can be thrown. And now our head referee, Alex Sigg, is back out talking with Coach Dickerson. They've made a decision, and let's see who makes the move. Benedict's offense is going back out on the field. Looks like this play is going to stand as called. Call on the field, an incomplete pass. Play challenged by Coach Dickerson.
After review, the ruling on the field is upheld. Player had a foot out of it.
Upheld, also add in there, is the new verbiage you'll hear from officials this year. Upheld is replacing confirmed or stands. That's among the new guidelines in college football this season. So we're right back to it. From the 10-yard line.
And a big 3rd and goal here at Tuskegee with an opportunity to put Benedict in position to possibly hold the 3 points.
2nd and goal, actually. 2nd and goal. According to down on the field, I know we here in the booth thought it was 3rd.
Yeah,
but 2nd and goal. Ocean able to escape. Pitches out. That's a backwards pass. That's a loose football. Ocean will dive on it back near the 20. Nearly disaster. Just narrowly avoided, but still a huge loss when they were knocking on the door to score.
Yeah, not a necessary play there. I mean, Darius Ocean had gotten out of trouble. That's one of those where you just kind of make sure that if nothing else, as you mentioned, it is 2nd down, you protect the ball and just live to see another down.
That'll bring up 3rd and goal. They've got the ball spotted right around the 16-yard line. Task much tougher now for Benedict to try to find the end zone after they initially faced 1st and goal from the 10.
Offense, number 78. Penalty is declined. 3rd down.
Also had a penalty flag out there. Just in terms of everyone moving around, we missed that one. It was holding against the offense, but because they lost close to 9 yards on the play, well, head coach Aaron James says, I'd rather take the 9-yard loss versus a 10-yard loss, and it's still 2nd and goal. Make them go for 3rd and long. 3rd and goal from the 19. Trips left, 1 to the right for Ocean. Morgan next to him in the backfield. The senior southpaw quarterback going to have to air this one out in 3rd and long. Stepping up in the pocket. Now racing himself. He'll step out of bounds just shy of the 10. Got a little bit closer for field goal range, but not for the pay dirt that Tuskegee was looking for.
Yeah, and when it's 3rd and forever, you really have an opportunity. The field tightens up so much within those 20 yards in the red zone, and that gives that defensive front for Tuskegee an opportunity to really make Darius Ocean in this offense work for it, and now they potentially have to settle for a field goal. We know that Zane Spires missed before, so we'll see if he's able to convert this time.
A 29-yard attempt. Spires missing earlier on this half from 20 yards out. The first time he's been accurate inside of 40. This one from 29 is good. Nice bounce-back performance from the freshman placekeeper. It's 31-17. Benedict leading Tuskegee. 5:44 left here in the third. So is the Benedict Tigers football team. They lead Tuskegee 31-17 on this Thursday night. Recently extending their lead on a 29-yard field goal. Freshman kicker Zane Spires, who will get us back going underway. Get the ball back to Tuskegee, who desperately needs to get their offense moving. Kick return from inside the 5 by Rouser. Across the 20, he breaks free across the 30. Rouser runs into the kicker, Spires up near midfield. Is that the spark Tuskegee's going to need on offense?
Oh, I absolutely think it's the spark that they need. When you're talking about taking the ball at midfield and we talked about flipping the field. This is an opportunity for Tuskegee to get a quick strike and get right back in this game.
Senior quarterback Raekwon Beal stand in, start this drive from the Tuskegee 48. Johnny Morris, the senior tailback, behind him in the backfield. 3 receiver set. Handoff goes to Morris. Up the middle, runs into a sea of purple. Jacoby Wall, senior D lineman, one of the first in there.
But I think it's very encouraging because we talked about what it was going to take for this Tuskegee offense to get jump-started again, and that's Johnny Morris, the third. So you're looking for them to kind of reset the tone and looking for their O-line to start winning again in the trenches for them to get back in this game.
2nd and 1 in Benedict territory. Right up the gut goes Morris. A 5-yard pickup moves the chains. And important to note, starting out in that first half, we saw Johnny Morris really tearing into Benedict's defense on the ground. Had 10 carries for 68 yards in that first half, but the first 9 went for 67 yards.
Yeah.
And then we didn't see him until the final play of the second quarter.
And that was the thing that stood out to me as well. We saw him for 9 plays, and we saw him get some chunk plays within those 9 plays, but then silence until the end of the first half. So it's time for him to get back to that, get back into this game on the ground for the Tuskegee Tigers.
And off for Morris once more, but he runs into the All-American Israel Wokacho. After 7 tackles in the first half, picks up his first one here since the restart and runs Morris backwards.
Yeah, we were just talking about who's going to win in the trenches, and Wokacho just showed, hey, I sniffed this out. I know exactly where this is going. Not Johnny Morris, you're going nowhere.
Israel Wokacho, last season, could have walked away, had his degree in hand, was named SIAC first teamer, was named to the All-Region Super 2 team, but just had one more year of eligibility left, could come back for a grad year, and for him, it was a no-brainer. He said, I believed in Coach Dickerson's vision, and he felt like they invested in him. He wanted to give back. Pass over the middle from Beal, finds Jermaine Hardy Jr. across the 20. A big pickup on first down for the Tigers.
Yeah, and we haven't heard Hardy's name tonight either, and you look back and Beal poised there, just kind of waiting for his man to get open all the way down the field, now getting Tuskegee back in the high red zone. Let's see if they can capitalize on a big chunk play for that last play.
First down at the 16. Tuskegee trying to score for the first time since the 10-minute mark in the second quarter. But nobody was fooled on that run up the middle from Rouser, especially Isaiah Stevens, the graduate linebacker out of Roanoke, Virginia.
Yeah, as much as I like the play call, and just in terms of continuing to try to establish or reestablish the run game, I think you go with tempo on that. After you get that explosive play, I think you just get to go right to the end zone to see if you can get the quick score.
A pickup of just a yard on first down. Johnny Morris returns to the backfield for Tuskegee. Keep your eye on E.J. Hall, the receiver on the right side. Beal pulls it, flashes over the middle, and that ball is picked off. Gio Jala for Benedict, taking it across the 30, ran out of bounds at the 40. What a pick from the Benedict defense. The junior swipes it out of the air and runs Tuskegee right out of the red zone.
And Beal saves a touchdown with a tackle at the end. But yeah, you're looking at an opportunity again for Tuskegee to get in the end zone and really claw their way back in. And you see that fake toss to Morris. And ultimately, Beal it looks like he doesn't even see 3 there. But we talk about just those opportunities and that missed opportunity by Tuskegee, putting the ball back in Benedict's hands near midfield, and another opportunity for Benedict to just continue to salt this game away.
Second career pick for the junior DB. First this season for Jala. 1st and 10 Tigers, now at their own 40. It's the first turnover of the night from either team. Pass right side, caught in the flats. Immediately taken out of bounds.
Number 18, Jackson Williams on the reception.
Jackson Williams hauls that one in. A nice pickup on first down. Sets up second and short.
Jr. on the tackle.
Benedict in front 31-17. If they could score on this drive, the Mountain may turn into Everest for Tuskegee. 2 receivers split each side for Ocean, who's looking to pass. Faces pressure. Airs it out. Williams 5 feet out of bounds. Michael King in coverage.
You see nice pressure up the middle there from Tuskegee.
Tuskegee brought the defensive blitz as Joshua Lee, the middle linebacker, was able to just break through the right side of that line and really force that throw from Ocean.
And that's really what you're going to have to see from this Tuskegee linebacker core. They're going to have to bring some help up front and make Darius Ocean have to throw that ball just a beat before he wants to in order to keep this Benedict offense at bay.
Under 2 minutes left here in the third quarter. 3rd and 1 for Benedict at midfield. Handoff right side. That's David Smith, tonight's leading rusher, getting across the 50 and up to the 47 and keeping Benedict's offense out there.
Yeah, and a nice play call there just to move the chains and get back into Tuskegee territory for this Benedict Tigers offense.
Smith's 4th carry of the evening, taking him over 50 yards tonight, including his 26-yard touchdown run back in the second quarter. First down for Benedict, right back to Smith. He charges up the middle, but runs out of room and cannot escape the hands of Messiah Wells, the senior defensive end.
And now it's feeling like we're getting to around the minute mark in the third quarter. You're seeing Benedict maybe looking at salting the clock a little bit, kind of wearing down this Tuskegee defense as we head into the fourth quarter.
The number one thing you need to score points is time, and that's running out on the Golden Tigers tonight. Just 50 seconds left here in the third, down 3 scores. That's certainly going to be the case, as Tamitra alluded to. They're letting this play clock get all the way down to 10 before they even get set. Ocean on 2nd and 7. Low snap, picks it up, rolls left, heaves it out of bounds just to escape, and that brings up 3rd down.
If there's been anything that we've talked about just in terms of what execution has not gone the good way for Benedict, it's been that snap. Center's just been off the entire night. Jason Miller just having a tough night getting that ball to Jerry. Most of the time, Darius Ocean has actually saved the day there, if you will, even there making the good decision off the bad snap to just throw the ball away.
3rd and 8 for Benedict. Four-man rush for Tuskegee. Screen pass finds Morgan across the 40. Spin move at the 35. Keeps Benedict alive on third down. A pickup of 15.
And you know what time it is. Move those chains. It's another Benedict
Down to the 32.
First down.
Just a really impressive night overall from quarterback Darius Ocean. Coming into the season, when Coach Ron Dickerson Jr. met with the media, he said, hey, right now, Darius Ocean's the leader in the quarterback room. He didn't start the first 2 games of the season. There's been an ongoing battle between he and Jackson Jensen. But tonight, Ocean gets the start, and so far has delivered. 3 touchdown passes tonight for Ocean, and a 31-17 lead for Benedict after 3. We head to the 4th when we come back. In Columbia, South Carolina, Benedict in front of Tuskegee, 31-17. New man in at quarterback, Bryce Conover, looking to air it out on his first pass attempt with the ball game. Incomplete towards the end zone, was looking for Malachi Jones. The only other time we've seen Bryce Conover play tonight was on a quarterback rush in the red zone. Otherwise, it's been the Darius Ocean show.
Yeah, and I like the call. I think it's an aggressive way to start the 4th quarter, just not quite the connectivity and the chemistry necessarily that we've seen from Darius Ocean and Malachi Jones throughout this game. But when I look at the way they're starting this quarter, and I look at the game overall, if we were to check out the stats lines aren't that much different, but I think the miscues and the missed opportunities that Benedict had, they seem to capitalize on the next possession, if you will, whereas Tuskegee just couldn't capitalize on those same miscues or bounce back from those same miscues, and that's why the score is 31-17. All Benedict since about the very early in the 2nd quarter.
Big pickup for Tristan Morgan as he got down to the 15-yard line.
Move those chains. It's another Benedict Tigers.
Tenitra, here tonight, the temperature is starting to cool off in the air, but also the offenses have as well. A first half where we saw a combined 45 points. The 3rd quarter gave us just 3.
Yeah, I thought that was interesting because I was thinking we were going to get a barn burner the whole way through. And, yeah, it was a very, very quiet 3rd quarter. But it looked like what we thought it would, just in terms of the defense is kind of settling in and trying to make their presence felt, especially in the trenches. But I'm interested to see what happens here. If Benedict punches this in, what is the response going to be from Tuskegee? You called it a potential uphill battle to end this game.
Ball spotted at the 2. Darius Ocean, right back. Tristan Morgan rumbling his way forward. A push from the offensive line. And just a lot of physics all meeting at one point. The immovable object was stopped at the 1.
That kind of reminds me of one of the stories that we got from Ron Dickerson where he's talking about his bigs and saying how a lot of these players, they're great interpreters. The coaches do certain things, then they mimic them through dance and screaming and TikTok type things. And he said, those 300-pound linemen, they can dance. A lot of mass movement there, but they can really move it. Let's see if they can move into the end zone.
Ocean back to pass.
Or you can just do it that way with a quick slant and end it.
4th passing touchdown of the night for Darius Ocean. This one finds Troy Hillman, his 2nd score of the night, and that may be the nail in the coffin here tonight. A 20-point lead for Benedict.
Yeah, what an absolute, as you said, just a dagger of a drive. Just Benedict imposing their will and saying, hey, we can put it on the ground, get to the 1-yard line, but if that doesn't do it for us, quick slant, and right there, we're talking about a 3-touchdown lead should the point after be good, and it is.
38-17. Benedict leading Tuskegee. The Tigers kick off the 4th quarter with a trip to the end zone. Troy Hillman with his 2nd touchdown catch of the night puts the Tigers up big. Columbia, South Carolina, Benedict in front of Tuskegee. 38-17, the Tigers here at home trying to lock up a conference win. The latest score, a 2-yard touchdown pass from Darius Ocean, his 4th of the night. to Troy Hillman, his second catch in the end zone this evening.
Yeah, and time running out for this Tuskegee Tiger team. We talked about Johnny Morris getting in and a decent run back there and we talked about special teams and how important it is to give the team good field position. But we've not talked about E.J. Hall since that first quarter, really. He had a couple of touchdowns in the first quarter, gotten 3 receptions for 62 yards, but other than those 2 touchdowns and 1 other catch, really there's been no opportunity for him with an explosive, and you need some quick strikes here. So you hope as a Tuskegee Golden Tigers fan that they can find a way to get E.J. Hall open again and sort of get back in this game.
It'll start with their quarterback, Raekwon Beal, trying to help this team find the end zone for the first time since the first quarter. Drops back, tries to escape some pressure, rolls to his right side, looking down for Hall, and it's caught at the 30, brought down across the 20. See it, say it, Tanitra, you called it. Beal finally finds that connection once again with E.J. Hall, and it's a huge game.
Indeed, indeed. And it's been tough because when you look at what the Benedict secondary has been able to do, they've really bottled him up, but finally an opportunity there, even with the defensive front of Benedict bringing pressure. Patience on the part of Beal, waiting for his guy, gets open, puts it right there in the breadbasket, and now they found themselves inside the red zone.
Handoff up the middle, trying to create some space. It looked to be Ronaldo Spivey Jr., the redshirt junior, trying to create some space. Gets up to the 11, and now we'll have clock stoppage here for an injured Benedict lineman.
Number 19, Rouzo McCary.
Correction on that last play. Rouser, the tailback, instead of Spivey. The second Benedict defensive lineman to go down here this evening. Certainly not a sight that they want to see. As in the first half, we saw Isaiah Alston Daniels have to be carted off. We did see him return to the sideline here the second half on crutches and with a leg brace. But it looks like here, Jahaven Phillips is going to get back to his feet and able to walk off under his own power.
Yeah, which is always a good thing. You see a silence kind of come over this stadium because, of course, you don't want to see another player go down. And as we mentioned earlier, not just here on the Benedict sidelines, but even on the Tuskegee sideline, you don't want to see an opponent go down with any serious injury. So, yes, good to see him go to the sideline under his own power.
Just over 12 minutes left in this one. Tuskegee desperately needing a score here to give themselves a shot down the stretch. Up the gut. We did see him return to the sideline here the second half on crutches and with a leg brace. But it looks like here, Jahaven Phillips is going to get back to his feet and able to walk off under his own power.
Yeah, which is always a good thing. You see a silence kind of come over this stadium because, of course, you don't want to see another player go down. And as we mentioned earlier, not just here on the Benedict sidelines, but even on the Tuskegee sideline, you don't want to see an opponent go down with any serious injury. So, yes, good to see him go to the sideline under his own power.
Just over 12 minutes left in this one. Tuskegee desperately needing a score here to give themselves a shot down the stretch. Up the gut, Rouser trying to break free, unable to do so. Gets to the 9, a 2-yard gain.
Number 19, Rouzo McCary.
Shaquille Rouser, sophomore last week against Jackson State, had 7 yards on the ground, season high coming back in week 2 against Central State, 27 yards, and what was a 34-0 SIAC win for the Tigers.
Yeah, and you see Tuskegee making some last-minute substitutions there, but that clock is ticking, so they've got to make some decisions and make some quick strikes.
And one of those outs, the quarterback, direct snap to Rouser, the tailback, and whistles blow for a flag on the field. I thought if we may see Tuskegee run some wildcat, it may be through E.J. Hall, the star wide receiver we keep talking about. This is a guy who back in Tuskegee, Alabama, in his high school days at Booker T. Washington, was a quarterback, but virtually just ran the Wildcat and racked up over 10,000 all-purpose yards and 90 touchdowns in high school.
Which is scary good. And one guy, and this is some high praise for E.J. Hall. His coach calls him a Travis Hunter type as well.
Pass to the right side, incomplete for Gabriel Garman. And the reason why the name Travis Hunter works into the fold for a guy like E.J. Hall last season was a cornerback at Troy. Comes over to Tuskegee, and they want to use him on the offensive side of the ball, and you understand why.
Sure.
2 touchdown catches tonight, close to 100 yards in receiving.
Yeah.
But he does have that defensive background, and Coach Aaron James telling us, he said, look, right now he's playing on offense, but he's learning that side as well. Just in case, you never know.
Yeah, he said we can expect at some point in the season to see him playing both sides of the ball, but high praise, but we've seen him deliver, especially on the offensive side of the ball.
Beal on 4th down. Pocket collapses over the middle, batted down, incomplete. Isaiah Isidore steps up and knocks it down and forces the turnover.
And that's the 3rd time this game we've seen Isaiah Isidore get that close, but a very dangerous throw there. I know that this team is desperate. They need to get a score, but that was a dangerous throw for Raekwon Beal to put that right there for a potential interception, and something that this Tigers team just couldn't afford that kind of turnover. But, of course, essentially you've got a turnover on downs.
Yeah, the second-year Tiger would have loved his second career pick.
Yeah.
But his coaching staff will tell him in that instance, we'll take it.
Yeah.
We'll take it. Benedict's offense back on the field, up 38-17. Darius Ocean on a night to remember for the senior quarterback here this season. Puts it on the ground, and breaking free was Akian Durant. Just another new face in this really revolving door of Benedict tailbacks. We've seen Durant tonight get a good number of carries. We've seen Tristan Morgan in on the action. David Smith making his season debut. We talked about the depth of Tuskegee's running back room. I don't think we talked enough about the same for Benedict.
Yeah, and this is the type of strategy that Ron Dickerson wants to employ so that he can wear down this Golden Tigers defensive front. You keep those fresh legs coming in the 4th quarter, you keep them churning, and you keep the clock moving.
I mentioned the night to remember for Darius Ocean. He's 18 for 28 for just shy of 200 yards and 4 touchdowns. The 4 scores and 200 yards certainly is a great stat line. But you say, well, why would that be, a night to remember? It isn't a new career high for him or anything like that. It's because of the situation he's in. Transferred in from Johnson C. Smith and arrived at Benedict with the plan being him as the starting quarterback at the beginning of fall camp. But because of how camp evolved, it came out that redshirt freshman Jackson Jensen was going to lead things for Benedict. And he did so in the first 2 games of the season. But you go back to Benedict's game last Saturday at Central State.
Yeah.
Jackson Jensen, who missed virtually all of last season after sustaining a knee injury on the first drive of the year, is still recovering from that knee injury and can't quite move as quickly and as mobile in the pocket as he will be able to once he's fully recovered from that injury. And last week, Central State was getting a lot of pressure in on the pocket, and it was collapsing on Jensen. So head coach Ron Dickerson Jr. said he had to turn to Darius Ocean just because you wanted a more mobile runner out there. And he said, look, it wasn't a knock on Jackson Jensen. He wasn't doing anything wrong. We just needed more abilities in the run game out there. But still, coming in even to today, I had to go down and talk to Coach Ron Dickerson Jr. before the game to say, right, who's going to be your starting quarterback today? Because when we talked to him earlier in the week, he still didn't know for this game. And he said, look, Darius Ocean's going to get the start tonight, but you can expect to see multiple guys. But after how he's performed, no doubt, Darius Ocean's been the only guy we've seen tonight. He may be the only guy we see for a while for Benedict.
Yeah, he definitely made a case for that to be the case for him.
This time he extends a drive, a long 3rd down pass up near the 40. Bryant Saravo came into the night with no catches of the season, reels in his 3rd of the second half.
And I think one of the things, too, is there was a challenge and a charge for this Benedict O-line to do a little bit better. Coach Dickerson said he really didn't see kind of the protection that he wanted to see, didn't want to put Jackson Jensen in a precarious situation where maybe he re-injures himself, so that also gave Darius Ocean an opportunity to have more possessions and more impact on the game last weekend, but also the game tonight.
Fresh set it down for the Tigers here. Under 8 to play. Handoff Durant. Left side, slips through one tackle, won't be able to get out of a second. He's marked down at the 39, right back to the line of scrimmage.
Another thing that makes this an impressive performance by Darius Ocean may be a stat line that we're never going to see, but it was the eye test of his ability by rough snap after rough snap, miscues between him and the center the entire night, and him being able to recover so quickly, just showing kind of that veteran presence and that football IQ to know how to reset quickly and make sure that he could salvage a play.
There's been at least 5 low snaps
easily
here tonight, yet Tuskegee has 0 sacks. Durant trying to work the right side of the line this time, but once again he just gets the same result, back to the line of scrimmage for no gain. Tuskegee team that had brought down opposing quarterbacks 8 times through the first 3 games of the year. They've had a lot of pressure. It's not like Darius Ocean hasn't had bodies in his face. He's just been able to sneak away.
Right, and that was the one thing that we talked about with Aaron James and how the Tuskegee defense played in the second half of that game against Jackson State. Not only just being able to hold them to 9 points, but he talked about the fact that up front they're workhorses and the fact that they were able to continue to push the team back. And while they didn't have any sacks, they were able to get the QB on the ground. So you really thought that that's what was going to happen tonight. But again, give a lot of credit to the O-line and to a quick decision maker in Darius Ocean.
And there's that first sack of the night. Tuskegee finally breaks through here in the fourth quarter, able to bring down Ocean in the backfield. Take another look. Just making a nice move there.
For the Tigers.
Ezekiel Moore getting the stop.
Yeah, bit of a coverage sack there for this Tuskegee Golden Tigers team, and this is one of those where that may have been the final time tonight that we see Darius Ocean.
We also can call that the announcer jinx, right? Set Darius Ocean up, hadn't been sacked all night, gets sacked, what, 2 plays later?
Sorry, my guy.
That's on us, Darius.
That's on us.
Hopper back to E.J. Hall, trying to make something out of nothing. Still stuck inside the 20 with 5:18 to play.
Number 2,
Tuskegee,
on the return.
you know, defensively, sure, they've had a better second half, only allowing 10 Benedict points, but offensively, been held scoreless tonight.
Yeah, and you have to think, too, it could have been so much worse because there's the missed field goal by Zane Spires, and that missed field goal could have actually been, if not for the infractions from Benedict's offense, that could have been another touchdown. So really, it's kind of deceptive what you're seeing in terms of Benedict scoring in the second half. It still was a dominant game for Benedict, really, from about that 10:37 mark into the second quarter till now.
Yeah, I really thought coming out of the locker rooms we may see this Tuskegee offense snap back into a rhythm.
Yeah.
Scored on their first 2 drives of the night. You're thinking, man, the Golden Tigers are really cruising and wanting to get this conference win. But they've since just kind of fallen flat. The pass here from Beal, and it's over his intended target with penalty flags flying in. He was trying to find Ian Nation around the Benedict 30. But 2 defenders were in coverage. Looked like Jamal Sam may be the guilty party here as the DB.
Yeah, beautiful pass there from Beal, but just a little too much, a little too handsy on that play from Jamal Sam.
Actually, Sam, the free
Dante
safety.
Forget
Yeah.
Drake, who
That's
starts the handsiness, and then
It was
Jamal
the
Sam
corner.
just kind of finishes it there. Yeah.
Yeah, the corner was initially who got that started. Sam was just the unlucky guy in the back that we threw under the bus.
Yeah. How do teachers say you only see the guy who hits back?
That's right. 1st and 10 here for Tuskegee after the defensive flag. Pass right side, in and out of the hands of E.J. Hall up near the 45.
Pass and 10 for number 2, E.J. Hall.
Coming into this 2025 season, Tuskegee tapped 3rd in the SIAC. Albany State, the champion, picked to win it all. But this Benedict team, I don't think people paid enough attention to them. 7th out of 14 in that preseason poll. From what we've seen so far this season from their defense, and if their offense can continue replicating what they have tonight, this team's going to finish a lot higher than 7th in the final standings.
Yeah, I definitely think so. I think you saw a team that played a nice game of resilience, a nice bounce-back game after Tuskegee came out on fire. And you're thinking, okay, this is a team that didn't allow, as you mentioned, points in week 1 or week 2, and then in the first quarter alone, your opponent drops 14. But give Benedict's defense, especially towards the middle part of that second quarter, give them a lot of credit for coming back, settling down, and really, really shutting down this Tuskegee offense.
Under 5 minutes to play. Benedict in front, 38-17. 3rd and short after the completion for Beal and Tuskegee. Back to the air with time so thin they don't have a choice. Right side, it's caught. Hauled in by Ian Nation, a sophomore out of Auburn, Alabama. His second catch of the night.
Number 15, Ian Nation, on the reception for the
And a nice little
Tuskegee
scramble there by
Tigers.
Beal to keep that play alive. Nice little quick toe touch inside to move the chains.
Tanitra, here in the second half, and really since the opening quarter, do you feel like it's been more of the case of Benedict's defense settling down and settling in, or Tuskegee's offense getting off the tracks, or a little bit of both?
Yeah, I think a little bit of both, but I'm going to give more credit to the Benedict defense because I feel like they finally got the pressure up front that they wanted. So once they're able to get that pressure, then you really started to see the timing off with Beal to Hall, the timing off just in that passing game overall. And then the head scratcher, which maybe Aaron James and his staff saw something that we didn't see, but the head scratcher of why he didn't maybe have Johnny Morris out there in that second quarter imposing his will. Maybe he saw that Benedict front kind of coming on and stopping the run. He figures, hey, I'll try running back by committee, but it just they didn't execute it.
2nd and 10 after the incompletion for Tuskegee. Under 4 minutes left here in the fourth quarter. Beal facing a blitz, airs it out left side over everyone's head. 3rd down on the way. Here tonight, the only sack for Benedict's defense has been from Israel Wokacho, the preseason All-American. Gets his 15th career sack. But even though they haven't knocked down Raekwon Beal for a loss, they've certainly put on pressure all evening.
Yeah, I think that's really where the game started to turn. When we saw Wokacha really start to impose his will, that's when you could see the shift in momentum in this game.
Beal drops back over the middle and off the hands of Preston Parker. When things need to click the most for Tuskegee, they just aren't.
Yeah, and going back to Israel Wokacho, you talk about other things. You maybe not be able to get that quarterback on the ground, but when you're talking about 8 total tackles and you're talking about 3 solo tackles for loss and getting 19 yards from Tuskegee, that's when you start to really understand the totality of him imposing his will.
With 10.5 minutes left in the second quarter of tonight's game, Tuskegee was in front 17-7. In that time frame since, 31 straight unanswered from Benedict. 4th down here. Beal going for it all over the middle, It is dropped. Malik Thomas unable to make the grab. Turnover on downs for the Tigers of Tuskegee.
Yeah, and that's the kind of night it's been for this Tuskegee offense. Got an opportunity there to air it out, but just can't hold on to the ball. And it's really tough when you see Malik Thomas have that opportunity for that explosive play and just can't haul the ball in.
Personal foul. Hand to the face. Offense. 56.
We did have a personal foul with hands to the face flag on that last play, but it was against Tuskegee. So Benedict will decline and take over here with 3:38 to play.
Tiger fans, let's hear for that Tiger defense.
You know, the Golden Tigers jumped out big here tonight. Got up early 14-7, a pair of touchdown passes on their first two drives of the night. And then things just cooled off for them starting in the second quarter. Haven't been in the end zone since, and have only been in the red zone one other time, and that was a Lorcan Ryan's 25-yard field goal.
And this is one of those games where obviously the score belies it, but you really saw Benedict win in every phase of the game. Executed near flawlessly on special teams, execution on the defense, especially dominating for the last 2.5 quarters, and then the offense paying dividends and also coming back when they make miscues. There, even that opportunity where Tuskegee was able to stop them in a 3rd and goal situation. Zane Spires misses the field goal. The defense gives the ball right back to Benedict, and Benedict makes Tuskegee pay.
Isaiah Turner, the left guard for Benedict, down on the play. While he's recovering, will step aside. 3:22 left. Benedict in front of Tuskegee, 38-17. Fourth quarter, Benedict in front of Tuskegee, 38-17. The injured Tiger on that last play, Isaiah Turner, able to walk off under his own power. But as we step back on the field, we've got a Tuskegee timeout, wanting to talk some things over
Tuskegee.
for a new quarterback got into the mix for Benedict, and Trey Manley, redshirt sophomore, making his season debut.
And Aaron James still coaching to the end, because you still want this team to be able to take something away. You want this defense to maybe have a positive impact that you can take into next week. So, yeah, certainly you can see why he might take the timeout and just kind of reset, get his guys gathered to see what they can do to make sure that this game doesn't end on another score.
Taking a look back at this one, it was all Tuskegee at the beginning. We thought we were in store for an offensive shootout.
Yes.
When the first half saw 45 combined points. The second half has seen only 10, and it's all been from the side of the Benedict Tigers on a 29-yard field goal from Zane Spires in the third quarter, and then a 2-yard touchdown pass from Darius Ocean to Troy Hillman at the beginning of this fourth quarter. It's really been a twist. Early on, it was all Tuskegee offensively. It looked like the Golden Tigers were really cruising, and then Benedict's defense just locked in and shut things down. After those first two scores on their first two drives, Tuskegee hasn't been back in the end zone and only added points on a Lorcan Ryan's field goal midway through the second.
Yeah, and you really saw Benedict take the opportunity as well to impose its will, but of course you got a few tosses here and there from the new quarterback that's in Manley, if you will, getting an opportunity to maybe get a few touches as this game winds down.
Clock rolling. Here at 3 minutes left in the fourth quarter. Now the referee step up to stop it. Timeout taken on the field.
Tuskegee. This is their second.
Tuskegee takes their second charge timeout here in the second half. Look at the performances of so many tonight across the board for these two teams, and really, Tanisha, when you dive into it, Tuskegee through the air, 209, adding 87 on the ground. Comparatively, Benedict going 223 through the air. The big difference, Benedict 135 in the rushing attack.
Indeed, indeed. And getting those first downs and moving the chains at opportune times and giving Benedict the opportunity to take advantage of play action because they were able to have so much success on the ground.
Flags fly in just as the snap got underway.
Start. Offense.
False start against Benedict.
First down.
Trey Manley, redshirt sophomore, making his season debut. A transfer from Chowan. Trying to go up the middle, nothing there. Tuskegee thought they came away with the football, but as Devin Smith will have to return back to the line with it for progress called. Bring up second down. Another timeout taken here by Tuskegee. Their last one of the night with 2:47 left in the fourth quarter. Benedict in front 38-17. You take a look at what lies ahead for these two teams. Let's start with the Golden Tigers. Next week, they head back home to Alabama. They'll play host to Fort Valley State. And then after that, back-to-back home games. They go Fort Valley State and then Morehouse before traveling on the road to the preseason pick to win the SIAC at Albany State. Tough stretch of 3 games.
Yeah, tough stretch, but at least they'll be able to go back home, maybe reset. Maybe they can get some energy from the home crowd and get back in the win column.
Comparatively, for the Benedict Tigers, they're going to look to keep rolling, but it's not going to be easy. They go on the road to last season's runner-up and this year's predictor to do the same, Clark Atlanta Panthers and head coach Teddy Keaton.
Yeah, and the good thing is you have a Thursday night game, so now you have a long week to prepare, a short ride to Atlanta, so this should be a great opportunity for Benedict to maybe continue to build, and maybe get their 4th win of the season.
Certainly, this one sticks out on the marquee.
Yes.
This one makes folks around the conference begin to say, we put Benedict 7th in that preseason poll. That might have been a little too low. You come in here and you take care of Tuskegee the way you have and shutting them down offensively. It makes people start paying attention.
Yeah, and you take care of this team in a different way than you did the first 2 opponents of the season. So you're thinking, okay, Benedict, we understand you've got a vaunted defense. You get 2 goose eggs in the first 2 games, but let me see what your offense can do. So not only does this Benedict defense shut Tuskegee down 17, but then the offense doubles them up and scores 38.
Yeah, it really feels like the breakthrough the offense has been waiting for. And, you know, talking with Benedict head coach Ron Dickerson Jr., as this pass falls incomplete down the right side, but penalty flags will fly in. It looks like to be pass interference. You know, talking with Coach Dickerson earlier in the week, he's an offensive guy.
Yeah.
And you go back throughout his coaching career, he's been at a couple of different levels between Division I and Division II. He's a wide receivers coach at Ole Miss and Louisiana Monroe for a few seasons, and then before coming here to Benedict was the offensive coordinator at West Florida and led them to the Division II playoffs. He knows a thing or two about offense, and he said, look, offenses just usually take a little bit longer, especially when you're working through different quarterbacks. Some of that timing just has to happen organically, and it feels like it finally did tonight. Timeout on the field with 2 minutes left here in the fourth quarter, and we'll take it with them. Final 2 minutes tonight, Benedict in front, 38-17. With under 2 minutes left to play, up big, 38-17, but they may be not done just quite yet as Durant stumbles his way up close to the 10. Coming into this one, both of these two teams top 10 in the latest HBCU Division II coaches poll. Benedict 9th, Tuskegee 8th. The only SIAC teams in front of them, Clark Atlanta checking in at 5, Albany State at 3, And what may be the surprise of the season, Edward Waters, number 2, working under an interim head coach.
Yeah, had an opportunity to call their game a couple of weeks ago, and they were very, very impressive. And what we've seen from Benedict tonight has been very impressive as well, being able to do it in multiple ways. Even on offense, you look down the stat line and you see 6 running backs have an opportunity to touch the ball and make some key plays for the Tigers offense tonight.
Durant gets across the 10 as we get under a minute left.
Number 24, Deshaun Mingo on the carry.
The first 2 weeks of the season were solid results for Benedict. A pair of 10-0 wins. Here's Trey Manley around the left side. He's into the end zone. The exclamation point on a huge performance from Benedict on a night where their offense has finally come alive this year.
Yeah, just go ahead and get you some. Why not? I mean, if the opportunity presents itself, why not take it? And we talked about Darius Ocean, what a great night he had. Not seeing Jackson Jensen necessarily, but seeing Joseph Trey Manley punch it in at the end. Just a night for Benedict.
Zane Spires will come on for the extra point. But, Tenitra, the first 2 weeks of the season, you want the wins, and you get the wins. 10-0, 10-0 over Fayetteville State and Central State. But in that span, you only score 1 offensive touchdown.
Yes.
And Benedict, they said, head coach Ron Dickerson told us, he goes, I'm not panicking right now. So we're going to be just fine. The offense is coming along. Well, tonight, they didn't just finally show up, they showed out.
Indeed. Coming along is an understatement when you put a 45-point night out there. I mean, anytime you can get a 40-burger is scary, and it could have been worse. We know that they could have, and it wasn't a running up, it's just the opportunities that were given, if you will. And you know it's a good night when we see the big guys. We talked about the 300-pound O-linemen and how they really are kind of light and fleet of foot.
Yeah, Coach Dickerson said when they get to dancing, it's just a lot of mass
movement.
But it's something to see. This is a Benedict team that just seems to be having fun at the end of the day. A word that kept coming up when we were asking Coach Dickerson about different players.
Yeah.
I think about 5 or 6 different guys. He said, all I ever see that guy do is smile.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like that was just a tape that was just stuck and kept repeating.
It absolutely was, and whether it was one of the guys up front or whether it was the secondary, either side of the ball, it just seems like they were having fun, and he's having fun right along with them. So love what we're seeing from this Benedict team, and I do think Aaron James is going to take this team back to Tuskegee and try to figure out some things defensively, try to figure out how they can bottle up maybe what they did in the first quarter and maybe produce a little bit more. And maybe this is the start of that.
Here's the speed of E.J. Hall. He shows you what he can do when he touches the football, takes it to the house, leaving 6 seconds left.
Number 2.
I have a sneaking suspicion Ron Dickerson is going to have something to say to his special teams at the end of the night in a not-so-good way. But on the flip side, we did talk about the importance of special teams. And if you're going to have one positive takeaway for this Tuskegee Golden Tigers team, this would be it.
E.J. Hall taking the kickoff to the house.
And Travis Hunter doesn't play a whole heck of a lot, didn't play a whole heck of a lot on special teams, but he can make things happen on special teams too, just like Coach told us that E.J. Hall can make things happen offensively, defensively, and now we see it in the kick return game.
Lorcan Ryan's extra point is good. And certainly Tuskegee, the game plan wasn't to go from the 7-minute mark in the first quarter and the 7-second mark in the fourth quarter in between touchdowns. That was the case tonight for the Golden Tigers.
Yeah, it's just one of those kind of weird situations where you see the Benedict Tigers team say, hey, we can put another touchdown on the board. Why don't we? You kick it off, and E.J. Hall says, hey, there's 10 seconds left on the clock. I can do a little something here just to maybe ease what has happened through 2.5 quarters here tonight.
6 seconds left here in this one. And things will close out from Columbia, South Carolina. Upcoming for the Benedict Tigers, another tough test on the road next week. They go down and take on Clark Atlanta and then return home for the South Carolina HBCU Classic. Take on what's one of the more unique rivalries in the entire country. Most of the time your rival's across town or maybe across county. When Benedict and Allen tangle up, they're across the street from each other.
Yeah, the first time I called a game, we called a game last season, a Benedict game, and I thought, hey, there's a campus across the street. Like, I didn't realize just how close they were, but I think the only other place where you kind of see that is Central State and Wilberforce. Central State, of course, being born out of Wilberforce University. But, yeah, a really interesting and unique setup here with Benedict and Allen just across the street.
Both campuses have buildings on both sides of the street, just how real estate things have shaken out over the years.
Yeah.
As Tuskegee will line up here for an onside kick. High hopper hauled in and taken down by Benedict. 5 seconds on the board. Tuskegee didn't give up in this one. You're just missing a moment ago, E.J. Hall taking a 92-yard kick return to the house for a touchdown. And most of the time, that's one of those plays that you really get excited for and celebrate. But Tuskegee recognizes it's too little, too late.
Yeah, that's one of those where you just say to yourself, you know that you have a star burgeoning in E.J. Hall, and you just see one other opportunity for him to show you just how talented, how fast, how special he is. But, yeah, not a lot for Tuskegee to take away from this game, especially from the second quarter on. They're really going to have to get back to Alabama and regroup.
After just one offensive touchdown in the first 2 weeks of the season, Benedict has their breakout game. They defeat Tuskegee 45-24 here tonight.
Yeah, you're talking breakout game, right? And this is one of those games where it's interesting because we're listening to the PA announcer, and player of the game for them is Malachi Jones. But I got to tell you, he doesn't get player of the game if there's not for Darius Ocean. Obviously, Malachi Jones, really huge night for him. 5 receptions, 90 yards. But, man, did Darius Ocean have himself a night.
Yeah, 19 for 29 for Ocean, 213 through the air, and 4 touchdown passes for the senior signal caller. A big breakout game for him. Anitra, your final thoughts.
Yeah, able to get the ball to 7 receivers. You saw him over and over when there could have been really big miscues from him, from his center, Jason Miller, but ultimately able to get the ball back in hand and always make a play or save a play. That's that veteran presence. That's that quick thinking. And he has given Ron Dickerson something to think about in the quarterback room for the Benedict Tigers offense.
Well, for our producer, James Crenshaw, my broadcast partner, Tanitra Batiste, I'm Kay Crenshaw, telling you, as always, to remember to smile and saying so long from Columbia, where tonight Benedict improves to 3-0 in the season and takes down Tuskegee 45-24.